And now, I would like to invite the first speaker, Mr. Sumit Hakku, founder and director of Chakwa Consulting Private Limited. He will guide us on the topic of business scaling up through sales and marketing transformation. Thank you.
Good morning, I said. Thank you very much. So, first of all, let me say thanks to the SME Chamber of India for giving us an opportunity to be here. I'm the founder director of Chakwa Consulting. It's a company just like yours. Like we have been hearing since morning the stories and the pain points of many of the people, entrepreneurs on various fronts, whether it's availability of funds, availability of finance to run the business, and many other issues. So we are a very young organization, about 3.5, 4 years now in business. And we started with an intention to help the entrepreneurs, to help the companies like you, the SMEs. Because, we believe that, as we have been hearing right from the beginning, that SMEs is the backbone of the industry, is the backbone of the India's economy. So we are born with the purpose of extending the help and support to the SMEs in India. So that is where we come from. So I'm really thankful to the dignitaries since morning. It was really very a pleasant surprise to also meet some of the guests in the morning, and it was really an honor to hear Mr. Badwe. He talked about growth. He talked about his stories. I think he made two good points where he said that you need to come out of your comfort zone. It's a very, very important point. Generally, people tend to get into the comfort zone, and that's where the growth doesn't happen for people. So if you need to grow, it's not just about managing the funds and managing the capital and a lot of the other issues. These issues will continue to be in the industry, something or the other. But what is more important for an entrepreneur, for a person or the group of people like you who are running the businesses, coming out of the comfort zone and looking for opportunities to grow. And that's where I stand here. I have been in the industry past 25 years in the corporate world. And I felt that, I must do something. I had the same feeling that I should do something, not just for myself, for the company I'm working, but let me do something to make an impact to people, to make an impact to the industry. And that's where we started with the company Chakwa. So when we say we are actually partnering with SMEs for helping them scale up business, right? And we always say it with pride that when we work with companies like you, you should expect growth. So that is the kind of a promise that we make to people. That's the promise we make to companies and SMEs and MSMEs, that when we work with you, we will show you the path to growth. And the second very important point that Mr. Badwe made in the morning, he said that you must have some expert people around you. He made a very valid point. You may have multiple ideas, but you must also have somebody who's actually showing the way, how to really come out of your struggle, your challenges, and show you the way to growth. And that's where Chakwa comes in. So today, this opportunity for me was to talk about how the business can transform for companies even like SMEs and MSMEs. Now, before I get into that subject, I thought let me throw some numbers onto you, because I heard people talking about some of the problem statements, some pain points, some issues, but I'll just put certain facts in front of you just to get back on the subject of what are the pain points. But before that, let's understand where SME stands. So we are, as I said, SME is a backbone to the industry. It's a backbone to the Indian economy. Why do we say so? So 42.5 million registered and unregistered SMEs in India. It's a mind-boggling number, friends. So if you look at the employment, this provides almost about 110 million people employment in the country, which is just about 40% of the India's workforce. It's not small. So you people are actually building the nation by giving so much of an employment. Out of the overall workforce that exists in India, almost 40% is done by SMEs. It's not small. More than 6,000 variety of the products is done by SMEs alone. And if you look at the contribution, roughly about 6.15% of the manufacturing GDP is done by the SMEs alone, which is out of the about 24.6% of the GDP by manufacturing. So you are not a small contributor. That's the point I was making. SMEs is making its own contribution in spite of all the challenges. Now let's look at the output. We say about 45% of the total manufacturing output is controlled only by SMEs in India. Not a small number, right? And today the topic was SME Manufacturers and Exporters Summit, and I believe we heard that many of our friends are also exporting and want to export out of India. So if you look at the current statistics, it says about 40% of the exports are happening only from SMEs. Again, the numbers are not really small, right? And if you look at the growth rate, SMEs are growing. In spite of the challenges, we are contributing to the economy, we are growing. It may not be a very handsome percentage year-on-year basis, but it's still about 10% YOY basis. That's the kind of a growth which is happening. But yes, I mean, we talked about the growth. There are a lot of challenges which we heard since morning from our friends sitting in the audience, and I'm pretty sure all of you would be going through that challenges. So let's understand what are the kind of challenges. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I'm really touching the points which you already are experiencing. They say that setting up the companies, roughly our initial setup cost goes about 49.3%. These are the numbers which are actually registered by the agencies and the Government of India. So I'm not really coming up with any survey numbers. These are the numbers which are registered by the Government of India. So which is about 50% of the capital cost goes in setting up. It's a big burden. And I completely understand from many of the my friends from the audience when they said that it's not easy to do business. When they don't get the loans, they don't get the capital to set up, how can they run it? When they don't get the loans without collaterals or the support from the banks. It's practically not possible. The initial setup cost itself is about 50% burden. If you look at the facts again, very important slide, by the way. If you look at about 20% of the small businesses actually fail by end of first year itself. Because non-availability of funds, non-availability of the ideas which are actually turned into the business, it doesn't happen. In the first year itself, the businesses actually collapse. What happens to the balance? Roughly 50% of that actually collapses by the end of the fifth year. They go into the financial trouble, and that's where most of the SMEs are suffering. And what happens to the balance? They say about 80% of the balance left out, they finish it in the 10 years. So all in all, the point which I was making here is that if you look at the journey of SMEs, it's not easy. There are challenges, and there are challenges each and every day for the SMEs. So the growth journey, while we talk about growth, while we talk about the contribution to the economy, contribution to the industry, contribution to manufacturing, all of that looks fine. But what happens to the industry? They are actually not able to sustain, they are not able to grow. And why is that so? Now I'll talk about some of the little detailing version of what happens besides the capital. Now if you look at the SMEs, they are not able to grow because, as I said, the capital is definitely one of the biggest reasons. 50% of the business sufferings is because of the availability of capital and the funds. Lack of infrastructure, they're not able to really create the infrastructure which can help them build the business to support exports, to support the customers who need that kind of infrastructure to give you business, to give you orders. Cash flow issues, I'm sure all of you would agree with me. Most of the SMEs are actually suffering because of the cash flow. They're not able to really get the cash to pump back into the business and grow the business. Resource. This is another area where we see that you don't get the right resources. Who will come to SMEs? Because there's not a big brand. They don't want to go, they don't want to take the chance. Even if they come, they spend some time and simply move out. Because you're not able to get skilled workforce. Obviously, the productivity levels are very low. We see that there is one of the very important point. SMEs, if you look at the industry, they lack a lot of processes and systems. I mean, We have been actually visiting many of the SMEs as well as MSME companies, the small as well as the medium scale. We see that the turnovers have started improving, but they're not able to really use the assets. They're not able to use the capacities of the plant because of unavailability of the processes. There's lack of systems. And because of that, they are not able to go to the bigger clients. They are not going to really position themselves and take leverage of the available facility to grow the business. And lastly, I think that point was made well in the first half itself by Mr. Badwe, lack of expert advice. Nobody wants to go and sit along with SMEs, understand the pain points, understand the problems, and really show, handhold you to show the way towards growth. And that's the biggest challenge for the industry people. Going forward, if you look at the overall breakup of these challenges, where is this really leading us to? As I mentioned right in the beginning, nearly about 50 to 55% of the issues are only with the capital, the funds, cash flows. And if you look at the competition, because you are not able to do your business, you're not able to really supply to your established players in the market, that goes to the well-established brands. You're not a brand. You can be a brand, but at the moment, you're not a well-established brand, so you easily lose the business to competitors. Skilled resources, almost about 12% of the challenges are basically for the availability of the resources. Marketing and brand visibility, I mean, that's a distinct thing for SMEs. When I meet the people, the entrepreneurs who want to set up or who are already established, they know what they want to do. They know about their products, their solutions, their services, but really they don't know how to really market that so well. So nobody comes forward to help in terms of doing it the right way, in terms of the marketing the products, marketing the services, and that's where they are not able to really scale up, they are not able to grow. So all of that, if you look at the cost of acquiring clients, as I said, you don't have the marketing support, you don't know how to market your products so well, ultimately that business goes to your competitors or the brands which are already established. Look at the statistics. It says that 60%, this is in India, SMEs last 6 years data says that the cost of acquiring new customers, means naya customer se business lana, is 60% more difficult for the companies like you. You may be enjoying some business with the existing customers, but you get restricted. You are just working with that. But moving ahead, meeting new clients, very difficult, extremely challenging for companies like you. And the fact also says just about 11% of the SMEs have realized that if they need to grow the business, they need to market their products, they need to market their services. If you are not known in the markets where your business is, probably you're missing that opportunity to make more business. It's as simple as that. Hindi mein hum kehte hain ki jo dikhta hai wahi bikta hai. It's simple as that. Aapka brand, aapka naam, aapke products and services जहाँ बिक सकते हैं जब आप वहाँ पे है ही नहीं तो आपका बिजनेस कैसे बढ़ेगा. So we generally ignore marketing to a much larger level that we feel that it's an expense. Why should we invest in marketing? क्यों करें हम marketing? It's an additional burden on us in terms of the budgets. We are not able to manage the existing budgets. How will I invest in marketing? But look at the statistics. You're not able to grow because you're not able to go to the right customers. Nobody knows you, okay? And that's where Chalkwalk comes in. Now, we have realized all these challenges over the last 20, 25 years after working with people like you. And that's where we come up with solutions in the areas of skilling. We have basically 3 verticals where we help people like you. We help in the upskilling of the people because we realize that the existing people that you have, even their competency levels and the skill sets are not in line to what you need. So we try and upskill your people, extremely important point. Second is we work with the companies in establishing the right processes and systems. Like how you're doing business, if you want to go from suppose 10 crore to 100 crore, to reach 100 crore, it's not a magic. You need right people, you need right processes, you need the capital, and you need to establish the right systems which can allow you to grow. That is where we come in and handhold you to establish. And finally, we also support companies like SMEs on the digital marketing, where we actually establish the right from setting up your brand, getting out to your right customers, introducing you to the right people, and getting you business. So that's one of our strength where we leverage. And why should you look at companies like us? When we are also a startup, we realize that companies like you don't need just advice. We want to go beyond advice. We generally, if you look at the company's ethos that we believe in, that you need someone to handhold you. It's not just making a business plan and telling you this is the capital needed, these are the resources. It's not just about the strategy piece, but it's also someone who can walk along with you, show you the right way. And that is where we come in and take the entire ownership of executing projects along with you and show you the way to growth. And we have projects which we have established, companies like you, where we have established growth, almost 2x, 3x kind of a growth in the revenue, profitability, cash flows, improvements, and brand building exercises that we have done. So it is not that, I'm talking the concepts here. I'm talking about stories that we have behind, where we have helped people like you establish the brand, establish business, getting you to reach the right customers, improve their processes and systems which are actually impacted your profitability. Okay, I'm not getting into the details of what we're doing, because it's a project where we actually understand your problems. We do the problem statements. We run through that. We have a unique model called SPEDGE framework, where we understand what are your problem statements, what are the pain points. Based on that, we create the whole business plan, strategy. Then we get into the execution of that along with you, and we take you to the right people, right customers, and we start getting you business, right? So that is the overall engagement, how we work with customers. Let me show you, it's a very interesting point. Why are you not able to sell? Why are you not able to grow your business? Why are you not able to really establish? Any good company, any good brand, what is distinct, what is different from them is that, you are in the market. Similarly, there are many other players who are supplying the same products or services. Why should customers buy from you? I think this is the question which must come to every entrepreneur, every businessman here, that there are so many people who are selling the same set of products, right? Why should he buy from you? What is it that you're doing differently compared to the market, compared to the competitor? And that is where building that story is extremely important. So the point I'm trying to make here is you cannot underestimate the power of marketing. If you are able to create that value proposition for your company, your brand, and position that to your prospective clients, business happens. And we have shown that growth to our many of our customers in the SMEs and MSMEs, right? So we also do a lot of operational excellence. There are many people who are into manufacturing. This is something for them, like, people who are struggling. They are doing the manufacturing, but they are losing productivity. They are not seeing the efficiency of the manufacturing processes, operations. So we actually engage with manufacturing companies, especially the automotive companies, where we do the entire operational excellence projects. We help in understanding how do you really improve the efficiencies of your process. We set up the whole processes, manufacturing processes, certifications and all. That's what we do for manufacturing companies. And we have also been doing a lot of certifications, whether it's an ISO 9001, OSA certification, and variety of other certifications, which many of you would want to do it for your manufacturing setup. So we have become a one-point solution for you, where we can actually take care of all your certifications as well. That's the kind of a knowledge that we have. And as I said, it's also about building the brand. Believe me, there are smaller companies, we have engaged with last couple of years. We have actually built up their brand. There were companies who didn't have even websites. They would go to the same set of customers because जानते एक दूसरे को तो business चल रहा है. They are happy, but they are not growing. आपको 2 करोड़ से 10 करोड़ करना है, 10 से 100 करना है, तो you need to reach out to larger audience, larger set of customers. But you don't have a representation, so that's where we help in building that image, building the brand. And we engage in managing your entire brand building, digital marketing services. We create your brand. We create right from your websites to the social media, all of that, entire pieces, whether it's, your brand building about your company, logo, your website, your product information, so that we help you reach to the right customers. And your customers start looking at you as an option. So we heard gentlemen talking about GEM portal. Yes, it's good to go to the GEM portal and register your product. But end of the day, customer will also want to see what's your capability. What capabilities you have on the manufacturing side, on your processes, your systems, your credentials. So all of that is something that we help you build. So all in all, these are the kind of things, we always say, Aadmi sunta hai man se. This is something, I heard in one of the sessions. So somebody speaker was saying, Aadmi sunta hai man bhar. सुनने के बाद प्रवचन देता है टन भर और खुद ग्रहण नहीं करता है कण भर. So I am not here to give pravachan. I am here coming with a strong background, and I'm telling you, don't just listen and go away. You must implement things. And it's not important whether you do it with us or anyone else. What is more important is during the day, whatever you hear from all the speakers or the guests, please try to understand what they are doing, why are they successful. Whether they had somebody who was helping them do it, whether they did a right manufacturing, approaching the right banks, taking the loans, taking the risk and going ahead and doing it. They establish the brand. So it doesn't happen with just one day. It's a long journey. So all of you, if you want, you are aspiring to grow, I believe that all of you need to implement whatever the learnings happen. And it's not just because of that. It's also not because you want to grow. Khali aapko grow nahi karna hai. It is the customers who are ready to give you business. You have to have that customer first thinking. And I think it's not applicable only for SMEs, it is applicable across the spectrum of industries, including the bigger giants. If they are looking, every organization, every company is looking at the customer first thinking, right? Everyone wants to listen to the customer. So that's what, let me show you something here.
We live in a time of unprecedented disruption. In a world of continuous connectivity and shortened attention spans, where people live their lives through their screens and share their experiences with everyone they know, customers realize that anything is now possible. Their expectations keep growing much faster than businesses can adapt. Buyers put off talking to salespeople for as long as they can. They prefer to educate themselves. Welcome to the age of the customer, when all that truly matters is the quality of the relationship with your customers and whether you've earned a role in their lives. But customer loyalty can no longer be bought. It must be earned by building trust over time. The degree of trust depends entirely on their experience with you, how easy it is to buy from you, to interact with you, to be serviced by you. And equally important, whether customers believe you put their needs first. Instead of simply trying to reach people, you must reach out to them, inspiring more than persuading, sharing more than selling, earning attention more than buying it. If the defining story of the early 21st century has been free and now, the story going forward will be help me now. Help that arrives on time, in the context of the moment, based on who the customer is and what they're looking to do. Creating a more meaningful relationship begins with connecting your brand's purpose to people's lives. It means giving up the chase and acknowledging that the customer is now in control. The payoff? More loyal customers willing to buy more often. They believe in you because you put their needs first every time.
So the question is to you, do you have the same culture in your organization that we believe in customers first? It doesn't happen, as I said, just like that. It's a journey, and you have to start working towards that. You have to start reaching out to the customers. You have to start building your company's brand, and that is extremely important if you want to really grow business. That is what the message was. So anyway, I will skip this. I'm not going to get into this. That is the message which I had for all of you. So if you really are looking at coming out of the issues, it starts with you. It starts with taking some actions. So if you need help on any of your challenges related to business, here's the number of our, you can just send us a hi. We will be able to reach out to you. And we will do the first free consulting service for our team will come and understand your problems and try to give you the best possible solutions. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much for the time and patience, patient hearing, and I wish you all good luck in your journey of growth. Thank you.
Going ahead, I would like to invite Mr. Deepak Jotwani, Tata Capital Finance Service Limited, Head Corporate Finance Program and Business Development, Equipment Leasing and Finance Business. The topic is Unlocking Growth in Small and Medium Enterprises. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deepak Jotwani. I am representing Tata Capital, basically SME Finance Division. I've been accompanied by a few of my colleagues, Anurag and Harleen here, and we also have a stall outside, so where we are giving detailed briefing on our products. So I've been hearing a lot of dignitaries and everybody is talking about challenges in SME, and we heard a lot of customers also. So first of all, thanks to SME Chamber for inviting us, for having us here, and thanks to all the dignitaries here. So what I will do is, before I start my presentation, I'll just brief you on, as Tata Capital, we are not a bank. So I hope everyone in this room would understand basic difference between a bank and an Nbfc. So as a customer, I'll just brief you what exactly are the major differences. Because in your daily routine life, you would be dealing with a lot of Nbfcs. So Nbfcs are not the replacement of the bank. Nbfcs are non-depository and non-banking companies. Basically, in bank, you can open an account. With Nbfc, you cannot have an account. Some Nbfcs are non-deposit taking Nbfcs, like Tata Capital. We cannot take any deposits from the customers. So that is another major difference between a bank and an Nbfc. And the biggest difference is that Nbfc are not here to replace the banks. So if someone as a customer is expecting that they might be getting the same pricing or the same rate of interest what banks are giving, we might be little higher than the banks, but then we have our own advantages in terms of the flexibility we bring to the customer, in terms of the various innovative products we bring to the customer. We'll talk about the products, what we have specifically focusing the SME segment as a customer. So banks might be a little cheaper because you deposits your money in the bank. But as an Nbfc, we don't have deposits from the public. So we are the secondary borrowers in the market. We also borrow funds from the market and we lend it to you. So there might be a cost difference. But being Tata Capital, we are AAA rated entity. We are 100% owned by Tata Sons. So we have our own advantages of borrowing the funds. We are maybe, as one of the top 3 Nbfcs in the country. So our cost of fund is little better than other Nbfcs, and that is where we pass on the difference to you also. So that's why I have mentioned it in starting that Nbfcs cannot be compared with the banks. Now, what we heard from you all, that there are a lot of challenges at the time of growth. You are not getting the money from the bank. Some people are saying that they have the orders in hand, but they don't have the funding available. Some people are saying they have the collateral. They don't have the collateral and the banks are denying the funding. So that is where I think as an Nbfc, we are playing a role. We are not lending in huge quantities, but we are lending in small loans. And some of the loans are collateral-free loans. When I talk about collateral-free, it means completely collateral-free. I'm not just saying for the sake of saying here. There are certain products which are completely collateral-free. I will talk about it in. So we as a company also, we also admired this thing that a lot of SMEs are facing challenges. So we actually made a dedicated team of emerging finance team, which is dedicated to SME division. So there are various teams, but then we thought that SME needs a dedicated focus. So there we created a dedicated SME team, which is known by emerging finance team. So emerging finance team is basically, the role of the emerging finance team is to target the SME customers in the country and help them in raising funds for their business establishment. Those funds requirement can be of various kinds. It can be working capital, it can be term loans, it can be long-term funding, it can be a machinery loan. So we'll talk about it in very brief about every products what we are offering, and you can relate it where your requirements is fitting into it. Tata Capital is only the NBFC in the market which is giving you all kinds of product, whether it is working capitals or whether it is long-term loan, project funding loans. So we are not an NBFC which is product specific. We can give you all kinds of loans, but all kinds of loans have different requirements. So to start with, this is what I'm talking about is SME finance division. We'll be focusing our presentation on the SME only. Apart from this, Tata Capital is also present into large corporates, mid-sized corporate, private equity funds, home loans, renewable energy funding. So as I mentioned, Tata Capital is one NBFC which is completely present in all the segments of the industry. Now we all understand, we've been talking about SME being the backbone of the country. We also realize, and if you would have seen that Tata Capital is a gold sponsor in this event, because we also believe that SME growth is the utmost important factor for any economy. And being Indian economy, we believe that SME is going to play a very vital role. And hence, we choose to be a golden sponsor here. And we also understand that SMEs are playing a very amazing role in giving the employment to the country, being the economic backbone of the country. Hence, we decided that we should have a dedicated focus team to help the SME people. And how are we helping? As I told you that today we have almost like 700 plus MSME and SME customers. We'll talk about some digital initiative which we have taken to help the SME customers, because we also feel that SME customers are little, not organized as the big corporates. So if you see the document requirement, as a corporate, you will always have all the documents in place, very, very well organized. They have the accountant, they have the CAs to manage all these things. But then we realized, what about the SMEs? So hence we came up with a digital lending product, which is up to 2 crores. It starts from 10 lakhs to 2 crores, and where we are taking very, very minimal document requirement. There are certain digital tie-ups which we have done in the market, where your requirements are automatically fetched from the system itself. So first product, which you can see, is supply chain and trade finance. As one of the customer was talking about, one of the SME member was talking about that they have the LCs in hand, but they have no trade finance available. They don't know where to go, where to approach. So Tata Capital can be one of the options, because we have supply chain and trade finance as a product available with us, where we fund your working capitals for a shorter duration of time. You can purchase your raw materials, you can get the funding for those also, and even for your receivables. So both the options are available. We can finance end-to-end working capital cycle, start from purchase to the sales. We also do loan syndications. So basically, as a SME, if you have multiple requirements and maybe Tata Capital is not able to fulfill your requirement, we can also act as your syndication partner, where we can understand your requirement in detail. We have the team which is spread across the country. In Pune, we have around 3 to 4 offices. We have almost like 20 people team in Pune also. So they can come down, they can understand your requirement, and they can do a syndication for you. So what does syndication means? They will understand your complete requirement. Whatever is Tata Capital able to fulfill the requirement, they will do it on their own. Whatever we are not able to do it, we will try and help you with our banking partners or our NBFC partners. Those who are specific and those who are really, master of those products. Term loan, everybody understand, if you're coming up with any new plant, new factory or new setup, you might need a term loan for various requirements, might be for building, might be for machinery, or might be for any working capital. So we can give you term loan and working capital funding also for your upcoming projects. So when I talk about equipment financing and leasing business, this is a very unique product which we have in the market. I was talking about no collateral. So this is a product where when we say no collateral, that means no collateral. So up to 2 crores, we have a digital lending process where very, very few documents, only your KYC and your banking statements are asked for. ITR, the balance sheets and all those, if you have uploaded in the income tax department, we will fetch it from there. Your monthly sales and all those will be fetched from the GST portal. So we have done the tie-ups with GST and income tax portals internally. So there you don't have to provide the details which in the traditional way we were asking for. If you would have seen earlier that if you want any loan, there was a long list of documents which you have to furnish to any banker or NBFC. But those were the old days. Now we have come up with various digital lending platforms where we have come up with innovative products, and you don't really need to give a long list of documents. Only 3 to 4 documents will suffice our requirement. So up to 2 crores, we are giving digital lending loans. And when I talk about equipment financing, so let's say you have an existing manufacturing setup. You're not coming up with a new factory or anything, on a working capital side, but you want to add one machinery into your existing setup. What if this machinery is just 50 lakhs, 1 crore, 2 crore? You might have to approach to the bank. Bank might ask for a collateral, or bank might ask for a long list of documents, or might be some time-taking process because they also have to follow the internal guidelines and all that stuff. But as an NBFC, what we have come up is that this 2 crores of loan on the machinery would be completely unsecured. I mean, only the machinery would be hypothecated to us. So no collateral in terms of land, building would be asked from you guys. This product is unique in itself because you just have to pay around 20% margin in this. We cover the complete cost of the asset, including the taxes. So even your landing costs like GST and your excise duties and all that, custom duty if you're importing the asset, will also be covered in the funding cost. So 20-25% is margin what we ask from you, and rest we finance the rest amount for 5 years, 4 years, 6 years also. So that's a unique product to help SME because we also understand that collateral banana aaj ki date mein, like creating a factory or a land building is very difficult. Everybody knows the price for the real estate is like, nobody can afford to buy this. So we understand that if tomorrow आपका एक running business है और आपको अगर उसमें कोई machinery add करनी है, which can take you to a next level, which can increase your turnover, you might not have a collateral to give it to the banks or the financial institution. That is where you can take the advantage of equipment financing. We also give leasing. Leasing is a very new concept in India. When I talk about leasing is basically you don't have to own the asset. अगर आपको कोई machinery खरीदनी है, maybe we will buy it on your behalf and we will give it to you on the rent. So उससे क्या फ़ायदा होता है? Basically you don't have to show the loan in your books. Your machine is completely on the rent. For 3 to 5 years, you can take that rent as a expense in your profit and loss account. अगर आप आज एक मशीन खरीदते हैं तो आपको डेप्रीसिएशन का बेनिफिट मिलता है 10-12 साल तक, बट लीज में अगर आप 4 से 5 साल में लीज लेते हैं तो वॉट एवर लीज रेंटल यू आर पेइंग एवरी मंथ, दैट कैन बी शोन एज एन कंप्लीट एक्सपेंस इन योर P&L अकाउंट, एंड दैट कैन गिव यू अ टैक्स एडवांटेज ऑल्सो, क्योंकि आपकी टैक्सेबल इनकम उतने से कम हो जाती है. So we can talk in detail about this product if somebody is interested. We have a expert sitting outside and they can help you on those sides. So what I'm trying to, communicate the message that we have many products which are carved out of the requirements specific to SME segment. आपको अगर मशीन लेनी है तो हमारे पास प्रोडक्ट है, अगर आपको पैकिंग क्रेडिट लेना है तो we have a product. We also have a foreign funding. So just to mention it that if some client is importing a machine from outside India and if you need loan in the foreign currency, maybe at a cheaper rate, we have tie-ups with foreign banks where we can arrange the foreign funding in the rate of today's, the rates have gone little higher. Earlier we were arranging it at 3%, but now the cost have increased and it has gone to around 4.5 to 5%. So depending on the currency in which you are importing the asset. So that product is a very unique product. It's only offered by Tata Capital as an NBFC in the market, again without any collateral. No collateral, machine के ऊपर हमारा hypothecation रहेगा and we can give you the funds in foreign currency also. So as I mentioned, Tata Capital is not a bank, but still we come up with a lot of advantages to you. Obviously, the first advantage is the trust of Tata's because this company is 100% owned by Tata Sons as on now. And we are almost 15 years old in the market. We started in 2007. We have as an NBFC, we would be little flexible as compared to the banks in terms of document requirement, in terms of process. Maybe our RMs can sit with you and find out what are the problems. They can give you the solutions also. On the best possible effort, we will try to fund you. If there are something which is really beyond our control, then we might have to say no also. We are not saying that we are here to lend everybody and anybody. There are also certain RBI guidelines which we also have to follow. Pricing wise, I mentioned that we might be little higher than the banks, but at the same time, we can give you other benefits. And as a customer, I would suggest that you should always have a bank with you, but try and explore Nbfc also as a Tata Capital because we might be helpful to you in certain areas where banks might not be helpful to you. So I am not saying that we are replacing the bank, but we can be your one more option in the whole financing gamut of banks. सो वन स्टॉप सोल्यूशन फॉर ऑल काइंड ऑफ रिक्वायरमेंट. आज आपको मशीन खरीदनी है तो हम लोन दे सकते हैं, अगर आपको प्रोजेक्ट फंडिंग चाहिए तो हम दे सकते हैं, टर्म लोन चाहिए तो दे सकते हैं, वर्किंग कैपिटल चाहिए तो वी कैन गिव यू. And again, leasing, which is also a differentiating product from the banks. So if you see, as I mentioned, I have some more 1 minute. So digital is something which we all have to, going forward, if I request all the customers, all the SME clients here, please start adapting to the digital way of, accessing things. We have already launched our digital portal, but we see very few customers try and do the self journey. अगर आप सेल्फ जर्नी खुद करेंगे तो आपके लिए लोन लेना बहुत आसान हो जाएगा, बिकॉज यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ वर्ल्ड इज चेंजिंग. अभी आप पहले देखते थे कि यू माइट हैव टू गिव लॉट ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट, फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स, आपको इतना मोटा मोटा प्रिंट करके आपको 3-3 साल का फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट देना पड़ता था. बट नाउ वी आर नॉट आस्किंग फॉर ऑल दी स्टाफ. सो वंस यू ट्राई एंड इन्वॉल्व, वंस यू डू द सेल्फ जर्नी का मतलब होता है कि इफ़ यू गो टू टाटा कैपिटल पोर्टल एंड यू ट्राई एंड अप्लाई फॉर द लोन ऑन योर ओन, it might take, first time you might find it little, discomfort in maybe accessing something, but trust me, going forward, this is the way your life can become easier. आपका टाइम सेव होता है, आपको अलग से किसी फाइनेंशियल कंसल्टेंट को रखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है फॉर अप्लाइंग लोन्स. वी आर योरसेल्फ गिविंग द पावर इन योर हैंड्स. You can go apply to that link, just 15 minutes job, and you will see your all details are fetched automatically. So when you see that kind of developments coming in the market, you will feel that yes, there is some value addition these kind of companies are doing to your whole process. That is where Tata Capital is playing the role in helping the SMEs in whatever way best possible we can do. We are trying to become more and more digitally advanced. We are ऐसा नहीं बोल रहे हैं कि आज जो digital हमने कर दिया that is the end. We are continuously investing on our platforms, on our systems to develop more and more easier way of applying loans and easier way of getting the loans. Thank you so much for hearing us. In case if you feel any doubts, any more information, we are there outside. Thank you.
We exist to open the doors to opportunities. Is the essence of our legacy, propelling us to a world of new possibilities. To take the road less traveled, we strive to be a beacon of certainty in an increasingly complex world. By enabling intent, we turn resolve into reality. And by becoming the wind beneath the wings of new ambitions, we give flight to 1,000,000 dreams. By exceeding expectations always, by embracing simplicity, we put people before profit. Ours is a journey filled with stories of shared success and growing together. By powering a young nation to reach its true potential, we've become a partner that India can count on. Tata Capital, count on us.
The next speaker, Mr. Deepak V. Fadnis, Director of Agency, Tata AIA Life Insurance Company Limited. The topic is Importance and Advantages of Life Insurance for SME.
आदरणीय व्यासपीठ, सन्माननीय पदाधिकारी, या सकाळपासून पाहतोय काही गोष्टी. जसे आपल्या चंद्रकांतजींनी काही गोष्टी शेअर केल्या आणि आपले जे काही SME बंधू आणि भगिनी आहेत, तर इट इज व्हेरी इन्स्पायरिंग टू सी हाऊ आर वी बिल्डिंग द नेशन. काही लोकांची आणि बऱ्याच लोकांची बिलीफ आहे, माझी पण बिलीफ आहे की आपण जसं म्हणतो की देहाकडून देवाकडे जाताना आपण या देशाचं देणं लागतं. आणि आय थिंक जेव्हा 45 मिलियनपेक्षा जास्ती आपले SMEs आपल्या देशासाठी हे काम करत आहेत, तर आय एम व्हेरी शुअर दॅट दिस इज अ मेजर कॉन्ट्रीब्युटर टू बिल्डिंग द नेशन. सो फर्स्ट अँड फॉरमोस्ट माय heartfelt thanks to each and every SME for getting into this and helping build the nation. So thank you very much for this. Thank you very much. Before I start my topic, we are Tata Life Insurance. My name is Deepak Fadnis. Before I get on to my topic, I also want to share a vote of thanks to our speakers. In fact, I heard very inspiring Mr. Shrikant Badwe talking about getting out of the comfort zone. We heard about Mr. Prabhakar Sarunke, very passionate, 16 years, young dynamic personality, and Dr. Rajendra Jagdale also. So while he was talking, it reminded of my post-graduation days of environmental sciences. So this is how it is. Priorities and interests are two different things. So, and of course, Mr. Pathak, who mentioned about there's a huge market. China is leading all the way, but what can our country do? So today's topic for us is life insurance. Now, this is a very ordinary, very normal topic. We are Tata Life. Now, when we create any asset, we are here to create assets. Mr. Chandrakant Sarunke, he also mentioned that any entrepreneur or industrialist or an SME has to go through 45 roles. Now, when we talk about this, he or she is creating the asset, he or she is consuming the asset, he or she is conserving the asset, but how about ensuring the continuation of the asset? We as Tata Life, we can ensure that there is a continuation of the asset come what may. So let us see certain challenges in our business. Business continuity is a challenge, and some of the colleagues, they presented that year 1 10%, year 2 20%, by the end of maybe 10th year 50 or 60% dropouts. These are business dropouts. These are not the dropouts more from the business, not the dropouts from the exigencies happening to the individual. Something goes wrong, and what happens? The dropout can happen immediately in 1 month's time. Now, before I share this quickly, another simple example. I sit in the chair. We all are sitting in these chairs. Back in our offices, we sit in our, in our offices, in our boardrooms, or as the case may be. We come with all piousness, with all sacredness. We sit in that chair, assuming that I am going to multiply in the year to come. My asset is going to multiply in maybe a decade's time. And I'll be a true industrialist. I'll be helping build the nation. I'll be generating, not only wealth, but huge employment as well. Now, friends, and my brothers and sisters, so while we are sitting in this chair, there is some worth of this chair. So say, for example, let's say, I am generating a revenue of maybe 1 crore, or maybe I am generating a revenue of maybe 100 crore. Now, I am generating this. So say, I take an example, I am 43, and in next 10 years' time, in the same fashion, I am going to generate this wealth or revenue rather of, let's say, 10 crore. 10 crore. That means without any ups and downs, I am going to create a revenue or wealth of 100 crore for my business house, for my nation, for my society, for my family, as the case may be. Now, year 2, I generate probably the same revenue. Year 3, I generate the same revenue. And guess what? One fine day, or night, or afternoon, I am not there to generate the wealth only. I assume that I am going to generate 100 crore. I am going to become an industrialist and set the business house in the right system and process. But guess what? I am not there only. The chair in which I was sitting, the chair is lost and the vacuum is created. Now, how do I build the vacuum? I wanted to create the asset for my business house, my family, so on and so forth. But now, guess what? What is happening? There is a vacuum which is created. We at Tata Air Life, we are able to bridge this gap of vacuum. Vacuum create hoga ki nahi, no surety about it. But gap bridge hoga ki nahi, iski surety for sure. And in maybe 8 days' time, we can create a paper asset which can cover my entire lifetime's so-called assumed asset which I was supposed to build. And that is my worth of the chair which I can protect right now. This is what the work that we do at Tata Air Life. And hence through Urja program, we also partner in your growth because we want truly to build the SMEs at Tata. So let us see this. Business continuity is the challenge. मुझे नहीं पता business कैसे continue होने वाला है मेरा. I don't know this. Effective tax planning, working capital requirement, safeguarding family's interest, legacy planning, employee retention, and इसके लिए solutions क्या है हमारे पास? So employer-employee. So I am owning a private limited, I am owning a small company, मैं मालिक हूँ, I take पगार also, or maybe घर का कोई है, or maybe I have got some good heads, department heads, I can do my employees. मैं अगर SME हूँ तो मेरे साथ लोगों ने लंबे अवधि तक काम करना चाहिए, then only my company will grow. So my employee should stick to me, trusting me. Employer-employee is a better solution. Key man, of course, as I mentioned कि मेरे कुर्सी की कीमत क्या है? The worth of the chair in which I sit on daily basis, what is the economic value of that? So that is the key man. Partnership, any partnership company, so partners can get benefited. Married Women's Property Act. So this is another powerful act, Married Women's Property Act. So हम काम कर रहे हैं, we are going out, we are going here and there, we are working day in and out. What about the debts in case we are not there? In case something goes wrong, of course, I mean, that's a business. So financial institutions will come to the families as well. In this scenario, Married Women's Property Act will protect, come what may, the property which I have created under Married Women's Property Act. I'm talking about a life insurance policy. This cannot be touched by any financial institution, neither the Supreme Court. This is so powerful. And what does that cost? Nothing. Maybe a forum like this and knowledge sharing. That's it. It costs zero. Not a single rupee extra. It's the same life insurance policy, no change. Hindu undivided family, of course, this is another effective way to mitigate the tax liabilities. So certain challenges in the business, and we have the solutions. Now let's quickly see this in a minute's time. This is the employer-employee. Now, say for example, the commissioner says, Deepak Fadnis, you are having a turnover of 100 crore. You are supposed to pay a tax of around 3 to 4 crore in approximation. Don't pay me now. So अभी मत भरो मुझे. अब मुझे आप 25 साल के बाद भरो. What is, as an industrialist or as an entrepreneur, what is my choice? Either I pay, I get the tax certificate. I'm very happy for this. That's point number one. Or second thing, the commissioner says that Deepak, don't pay. Rather, you create your own asset out of the taxes which you are supposed to pay and pay me later after 25 years. We all know what is happening with the corporate laws, corporate taxation. It is going down and down and down in order to improvise the economy. So after the tax which I was supposed to pay right now, if the commissioner himself or herself is saying, अभी मत भरो दीपक, अभी 25 साल के बाद भरो. 25 साल के बाद जो भी tax law होगा, corporate tax, उसके हिसाब से आप भरिए. My natural choice would be, I would be protecting that amount in building my assets in my company. At the same time, I will also protect and strengthen my chair through certain life insurance policies by making maybe 100 crore का cover ले लिया मैंने. 50 करोड़ का कवर ले लिया. We are talking about global competitiveness. The theme of today's program is strengthening the global competitiveness of SMEs. How are the big companies going to come and partner with us while they are unsure कि इसको अगर कुछ होता है तो how am I ensuring that my business is going to continue? We are offering this solution that in case the kursi khali bhi hoti hai, there is somebody to take care. Probably you can hire a good guy from IIM, you can hire somebody from MIT, you can hire somebody who is capable enough, if not the family member. So that liquidity is there with you. यहाँ पे एक example दिया है. Of course we can discuss this one-on-one also. ये टैक्स मिटिगेट करने का बहुत ही सरल, बहुत ही इफेक्टिव तरीका है without evading the taxes. We are only talking about deferring the taxes. So this is a simplified example. ये एक एग्जाम्पल है टैक्सेबिलिटी ऑफ अ डोमेस्टिक कंपनी. हम सबको पता है 25% अप टू 400 करोड़ एंड टिपिकली मोस्ट ऑफ अस 115 BA 25%, 22%, 15% एज द केस में बी. सो यहाँ पे व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग इज एंड देयर इज एडिशनल सरचार्ज एंड 7 and 12% also. What we are talking about is business insurance solutions. What we are proposing at Tata Air Life. मैं उसमें अगर प्रीमियम डालता हूँ 5 लाख या 10 लाख या 1 करोड़, okay, whatever it is, that is completely shown as a business expenditure under 37(1) of the Income Tax Act 1961. अब ये तो हो गया ज्ञान कि मेरा टैक्स कितना बच रहा है फॉर एग्जाम्पल. लेकिन सबसे अहम चीज़ ये है दैट आई एम प्रोटेक्टिंग माई चेयर विच इज़ इररिप्लेसिबल. इमोशनल लॉस पता नहीं लेकिन फिनेंशियली रिप्लेसिबल हो सकता है ये. सो आई एम प्रोटेक्टिंग नंबर वन थिंग इज दैट मेरे कुर्सी की कीमत विच आई एम रिप्लेसिंग दिस थ्रू अ गुड लाइफ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी. इंडिया टुडे स्टिल हैज़ अ प्रोटेक्शन गैप ऑफ 93%. वी नो लाइफ इंश्योरेंस बट हमारी आमदनी का 20 गुना इंश्योरेंस कम लोगों के पास. मतलब इसका ये है कोरोना जैसा और कुछ आता है, खुशी की बात है. इन द मॉर्निंग वी सेड दैट नोबडी इज वेयरिंग मास्क. But in case something goes wrong, and last week we heard the news that Russia, there is some corona-like virus which got, surfaced there. पता नहीं हुआ हमारे यहाँ पे आएगा नहीं आएगा. We don't. It should not come. The limited point is that हम में से बहुत सारे लोगों को तब बहुत ज़रूरत पड़ती है that I need this. But now is the time that we strengthen our company by protecting our chair first. Taxation उसके बाद आएगा. आदमी रहेगा तो टैक्सेशन होगा. सो colleagues, we have this fantastic solution of mitigating the taxes, but at the same time we can protect our chair. And we have under Urja program, under certain solutions at Tata Air Life, we offer on the loan taken on the policies, we offer a better interest also, which is lesser, which is very effective for taking loans and putting that back in the business and growing the business. ये क्विक एग्जांपल है. मैं अगर मैं एक एम्प्लॉय का एग्जांपल लूँ, मैं रेम्यूनरेशन अगर लूँ, सैलरी अगर लूँ तो रिसिट बाय द डायरेक्टर या जो भी है उनके लिए 36% होगा सारी चीज़ें मिला के, इफ़ द पर्सन इज फॉलोइंग द टैक्स ब्रैकेट. 1 करोड़ 2 करोड़ वॉट एवर. Dividend distribution tax has been abolished by our finance minister. So now जो पहले बहुत सारे लोग डिविडेंड लेते थे अपनी कंपनी से और खुशी मनाते थे, जो खुद ही डायरेक्टर है, खुद ही मालिक है और खुद ही नौकर भी है या अदर सर्विस करते हैं एज अ डायरेक्टर. नाउ दैट हैज़ बीन एबॉलिश्ड बिकॉज रेसिपिएंट को उसके ऊपर ये टैक्स जो है वो रेसिपिएंट के ऊपर है. इसका मतलब ये है कंपनी को डिविडेंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कंपनी करेगी लेकिन उसका टैक्स जो है वो रेसिपिएंट को भरना पड़ेगा. लोन लेते हैं अगर इंडिविजुअल कैपेसिटी में, अगेन द टैक्स होगा. एम्प्लॉय का सोल्यूशन व्हाट टाटा एयर लाइफ इज प्रपोजिंग, अगर वो करते हैं तो द इफेक्टिव टैक्स आउटगो इज 35% ओनली. इज इफेक्टिव इज 35% ओनली. सो ये एंटरप्रेन्योर, आई विल टेक 2 minutes more if it is okay. सो बिजनेस ओनर, हेड ऑफ द फैमिली एंड एम्प्लॉयर, ये हमारे सारे मल्टीपल रोल्स है. 45 रोल्स में से ये कुछ रोल्स है एंड दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. that अगर कुर्सी अगर खाली हो जाती है, and these are certain very prominent examples, friends. BMW India rocked by sudden demise of CEO. Muthoot Finance chairman passes away. Corporate India hit by several untimely high-level deaths. Are companies prepared? What is going to happen to the company? अगर हम ऐसा बोलते हैं कि हमारे पास प्रीमियम भरने के लिए अभी हमारे पास प्रावधान नहीं है, तो सोचो हमारी कंपनी चलाने के लिए किसके पास प्रावधान होगा हमारे जाने के बाद, या हमको अगर कुछ हो जाता है तो. I know we think all the time positive, as if most of us are going to live beyond 100 years, but that is not the fact. The time is going to come. Empty chairs, so plenty many examples in small, mid and large sized companies. Empty chairs are creating huge problems. So uncertainty is leading to reduced working capital, reduced revenue, lost debt, and the cycle is not virtuous anymore. The cycle is vicious now. So this is an example of the business expenditure under key man. Tata Life is now probably the only company giving approximately 35 crore of cover if the financial and medical eligibility is there. So post-COVID, this is the highest cover that we can take. While we have given cover of 100 crore and plus also, like in post-COVID, reinsurers have tightened everything and they are not giving any more cover. So we are giving 35 crore now. There are certain age brackets. This is a quick one. So certain laws which are there. So CBDT circular is very clear on this, that we can avail the tax benefit, unlimited tax benefit. ATC में 1.5 लाख की सीमा है, लेकिन अगर मैं 37(1) की बात करूं और अगर मेरी एलिजिबिलिटी है, तो I can pay 5 crore as premium and 5 crore will be treated as a business expenditure under life insurance policy. For strengthening my human life value, for strengthening my company, my chair. So there is no limit to it. Only limit is the eligibility, whether or not I am financially and medically eligible. These are a set of documents that can be discussed. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This is what the brilliant opportunity, being SME, I think if we need to fortify, we need to strengthen our chair if we really want to progress and multiply our wealth. So, dhanyawad. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Moving ahead, the next speaker is Mr. Abhishek Sharma, VP, Area Business Manager, Kotak Mahindra Bank.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Abhishek Sharma. I represent Kotak Mahindra Bank and I head SME division for Kotak Mahindra Bank. It's been a pleasure to actually hear to all the dignitaries, and I would like to thank SME Chamber of India to actually organize this event. Listening to such dignitaries like Mr. Badwe, Mr. Jagdane, it was kind of, listening to Mr. Badwe felt like it's my own story when he said that, we have to get out of our comfort zone. So the story basically, I'd like to, share the story when I actually shifted from Gujarat to Pune for heading the rest of Maharashtra division for SME in 2020, which was absolutely in midst of COVID. And I was heading large corporate for Kotak Mahindra Bank in Gujarat for last 8 years, and I was very much into my comfort zone. And from there, I moved to rest of Maharashtra, handling a different division, moving from a large corporate to an SME division, moving from a Gujarat kind of a market where kind of, the things are very much structured, and moving to Maharashtra, which is an absolutely new market for me, and absolutely in middle of COVID, when, things were like, कि क्या किया जाए आज, मतलब हमें यही नहीं पता कि हमारा market next कब खुलेगा. But today I am standing here. I have kind of, doubled my book of SME. We started with, our SME book was around 700, 800 crores. When I started in 2020, we are at about 1500 crores right now. And in 2 years, right, facing all this COVID scenario, it was because of SME entrepreneurs like you that we could also double our book. So that's what, I believe that's a perfect example of, moving out of comfort zone and getting the results out of it. So like I mentioned, I head SME division for rest of Maharashtra and Goa, and I represent Kotak Mahindra Bank. Just to tell you a little about Kotak Mahindra Bank, we started just like you, we were also an SME in 1985, and we started as an Nbfc, and we started with discounting, our bills. So we used to go to all the OEMs, market to market, and we used to request them to actually give the bills of their vendors and dealers, and we used to discount them. This is how the journey started. And then we moved to auto finance. We started our investment banking division. We started another company called KMCC, Kotak Mahindra Capital Company, where we used to manage IPOs. We also started our wealth management and priority banking division, and it is one of the biggest divisions we have right now, where we actually represent almost 50% of country's large entrepreneurs. So we manage, like any other bank, we manage Nbfc, mutual funds, insurance, and securities. 2001 we actually got the license, and 2003 is when we actually got into banking, and from there we have kind of grown leaps and bounds. And 2014 was the time when we actually merged with ING Vysya Bank, and from a 600 branch bank, we actually could double our branches to 1,200 branches. So today we have our representation in all parts of India. We are available everywhere, and we are kind of serving all the customers pan India. Recently, we have also increased our focus on digital financing. We have increased our focus on managing all your trade transactions digitally. We are trying to reduce the overall reliance on paper, and we have also launched our Kotak Cherry platform. I would just like to show a small video for Kotak Cherry and Kotak the digital banking alliance for by Kotak 811 that we have done. So this is a video of Kotak Fin, which is our trade banking platform.
Kotak Trade Portal. So just to give you a background, we are based in a industrial area. We are little away from Ahmedabad. For us, every day there used to be a task wherein someone from our office used to travel 30 kilometers just to give papers to the Kotak head office. And since we've been doing everything online, the trade portal we started using, the number of visits of our office boys to Kotak Bank is reduced by 1/10. So now all of those things are being done online. So we've been I think one of the first users of Kotak's corporate app, that is the digital signer, that has also helped us in going paperless. So in times of COVID, when we all were working from home, I think the paperless mode of operations with Kotak and the whole NetID portal really helped us. So that has saved our cost. We spend a lot lesser on our stationery, a lot lesser on the coordination effort for our office boys. So that all has been possible with and we haven't had a downtime. We haven't had any single bad experience wherein we could not do it online and we had to go offline. So it has been quite seamless, quite user-friendly. So our entire finance, accounts and treasury team uses it comfortably, and we're very happy with that.
So this testimonial has come from a customer whose office was about 30 kilometers, like he mentioned, 30 kilometers in Ahmedabad from our branch. And it was a very tedious task for him to actually visit from his branch, his office to our branch every day to submit the documents of remittances, for LCs, for sales bill and discounting documents. Now the customer, so through our Kotak Fin platform, the customer can actually upload the documents right sitting at his office, and the bills will be discounted, the remittances will be done, the LCs will be issued. And this is the power of digital that we are actually trying to implement. So just to mention, what all divisions are we actually dealing into, we have kind of divided ourselves into 4 divisions. One is the very large corporate division, wherein we actually manage about max 25-30 top borrowers of Tatas, Mahindras, Godrejs of the world, and we manage their relationships through this team. Then we have a large corporate team which basically manages companies with turnover beyond 500 crores. Then we have emerging corporates and SME team, which I head, and we basically manage companies with turnover starting from 5 crores to up to 500 crores. So we have a team of about 40 people here in Maharashtra, wherein we have divided us. We have about 10 relationship managers. We have about 10 people who can actually guide all of you on trade platforms. We have about 5 people who will guide you on documentation part. So we have kind of, divided our team in such a way that, each and every aspect of your business is covered through our relationship managers. So, like, we, in terms of products, if I talk about a normal business lending product like a CC or a term loan is obviously we provide, but we also try to add value to your lending requirements. Just to give you an example, there was a customer, so like SMEs, we have seen that, like one of my friends was saying that he has got an order. However, he is not able to fulfill that order because limits are not available. There are times when limits are available, but drawing power is not available just because suddenly order आ गया. अब order आ गया, लेकिन आपका पुराना turnover आपका drawing power बैठाने नहीं दे रहे. So how do we manage such kind of a situation? So we have products like purchase invoice financing. We have products like sales invoice financing, जहाँ पे you can submit this invoices to us and we will actually discount those invoices, and all these financings are done out of your drawing powers. This is one of the biggest points that any entrepreneur, SME entrepreneur faces, because DP बैठता नहीं है, DP नहीं बैठता तो आपका financing उस तरह से हो नहीं पाता. So that is where we actually come in picture, and we give you specialized products like bill discountings, we invoice financing, purchase order financings, and in a market like Maharashtra where we are actually there are a lot of players who are vendors and dealers of large OEMs like Mahindra, Tatas, and such auto companies. This product has worked wonders for us. Then we are also into, we have made a specific division for agriculture finance, wherein we actually fund your inventory financing. So like if you have inventory, we will basically we will keep your inventory in our own warehouse, and we will fund your working capital against that. Then we have tractor finance. We have a commercial finance, commercial equipment and commercial vehicle finance team. छोटा मोटा अगर आपको equipment लेना है कुछ 2-3 करोड़ रुपए तक का, that is basically done on a no collateral basis. Just we will take your charge on your equipment and hypothecation उसके ऊपर लेके we basically will fund the overall thing. Then we have our consumer banking team. Like I mentioned, in our consumer banking, we are currently at about 1,300 branches. We after the ING West merger, we have also kind of grown our basically, we have also grown ourselves in the southern region of India. So we are present everywhere. We also have, our overseas branches in Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, and New York. And we have one of our branches in Gift City, which actually helps us fund your, if you have any company and if you require some funding in South Africa today, we will be able to fund your company in South Africa just by, sitting at the Gift City branch. Then we have our other financial team. So we have our priority team who is present here. We have a specialized desk which is basically there, which will help you guide on your investments, on your personal investments, on your overall, family office. We can help you, set up a trust for your overall, for your overall, will requirements. So we'll be able to, take care of each and every aspect of your banking requirements that is basically there. Be it, on the commercial banking side, which can be of your lending side, or on your liability side, which can be your personal investments or your insurances. So like, this is what I was mentioning about, we have different kind of platforms. I would also like to mention about our debt capital market team, wherein today if you have some requirement, if you have got a specific project and you require a funding, and it is possible that only Kotak Mahindra Bank is not able to take care of your full funding requirement, we can also we can underwrite your whole project, and then we can sell down your overall we can ask other bank to come in through our debt capital markets team. So इससे ये होगा कि overall one bank will not take the whole risk, and still your funding requirement will be fulfilled. So that basically helps us take care of larger funding requirements or project specific requirements. Then we have so just in case you want to get into an SME IPO, we have our M&A team, and we have our KMCC IPO team, Kotak Mahindra Capital Company, which can come in and actually take care of all your requirements there. So, so I would just like to harp upon a little bit on the digital things that we have done. So just to give you an example, our loan documentation are done digitally completely. So there is no documentation which is physical in nature. Today, if you are out for some meeting, we will just, upload the documents on a website which is supported by NSDL. This website, you just have to input your Aadhaar number and the OTP, and the document will be signed. So no need of, doing those 200 signatures. You are probably somewhere, in Delhi doing your meetings, or somewhere in Goa, on your vacation. You will still be able to get your documentation signed, and your limits will be up in place. So this will just take 1 day of time, wherein, all the ESBTs will be generated, scan copies will be submitted, and, your documentations will be signed. We were the first to start this in India. Now other banks are, trying to cope up. Another thing is online WCDLs. WCDL is basically you just submit your letter sitting at your office. Your WCDL will be disbursed. So morning 11 o'clock you submit your letter. By evening 4 o'clock you will have the WCDL in your bank account. So that's how it is. Another fin platform is, I already spoken about that all your trade finance needs will be taken care of digitally by us. These are, I have already taken care of this. Yeah. So we also provide a lot of payment suites. Just to give you an example, Amul has a lot of dealers and, a lot of shops wherein they actually sell their milk and, all these milk allied products from. So in Gujarat, I remember, we were setting up a cash collection desk for Amul, and there are, I think, about 5,000 or 6,000, such shops that Amul will have, pan Gujarat. And it was a very tedious task for us to actually, set up that cash collection desk for them, because, sitting somewhere in Mehsana and, collecting all their cash was, a very tedious process. But we could do it, and we actually set up, we tied up with all our branches in Gujarat, and the guy used to go to the branch which is available in, at the nearby branch. He used to submit the cash, and this was done at a very minimal cost. Generally, the cost of cash collection is very, very high, but we could do it just because of the branches network that we have, and we could, set up such branches. Another example was, there was a hospital chain that we funded, and for them, we actually did this cash collection free of cost just by looking at the overall business that he has with us. So such kind of platforms are available with us, and we will be able to, provide such kind of platforms to you as well. Even, not necessarily in Pune, but even, in a place like Jalna or in a place like Jalgaon, which is there, where even if I do not have branches, I will have tie-up with some of the other bank, where I'll be able to, provide you such payment and collection solutions. Yeah. So, like Fin, I have already covered. In addition to the lending solutions, we also have like I mentioned, we also have our priority team here, which will help you on your private banking needs. We have our corporate salary team here. So all your salary needs, and, you just have to send in a request letter along with your salary sheet. We will be able to pay your salaries absolutely on time on the same day, because it is very important for the employee to actually get the salary on a similar day. So we will be able to do that. There is no need of actually, going and, clicking RTGS button for each and every employee. Just give us the sheet, we'll be able to take care of it. Then we also provide, insurance solutions, your group mediclaim solutions, your home finance solutions. For your employees, we can do credit card solutions for your employees. We can also provide corporate credit cards to take care of your petty cash needs. So all these, products which are available with the bank, every product is available with us. Only request is, please come and discuss with us. We have a desk here. Discuss all your needs. I'm sure we'll have a solution for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And moving ahead, now we have Mr. Santosh Ampadwar, Head, SME Loan Factory, Pune District Region, Bank of Baroda, and the topic is Finance and Investment for Business Growth of SME and Manufacturing Sector.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Santosh. मी इथे SME department head करतो Bank of Baroda. That is brief about me. And first, I would like to thank all the dignitaries which were present here, who have really enlightened us with all the knowledge and everything. And I would also like to thank SME Chamber of India for giving the opportunity for Bank of Baroda to market their products and to present some of our schemes and guidelines over here. So, speaking about our Bank of Baroda, let me not go into the thing that what is Bank of Baroda and what is means Bank of Baroda सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे. It's a nationalized bank. So I will just stick my introduction to that only, that it's a nationalized bank. So let me explain the local structure over here, because explaining number of branch structure and everything will not work. So let me explain the localized structure over here. What we have in Pune is that we have a 3-tier structure for entire Maharashtra. One is branch, one is regional office, and one is zonal office. So मला हे सांगताना आनंद होईल की we have a delegated power up to 50 crores at the level of Pune itself. So whatever your requirement will be, up to 50 crores will be solved in here only. At branches, we can take a call up to 1 crore. At regional offices, we can take a call up to 10 crores. And at zonal office, we can take call up to 50 crores. So why I told you this is that instead of going into the structure, how many branches we have all over India, how many staff we have, I'm going to tell you that in Maharashtra, except Mumbai, we have the branch structure of 670 here. So wherever nearby you can find our branch, they have the delegated power to meet up the SME requirements. That is the first thing I want to like to tell you, plain and clean there. Now my team is here also, outside. We have a stall here. So we experts are there which are actually serving the SME industry only. So this structure also involves one of the specialized structure which we call as a SME loan factory. I am heading one of the SME loan factory of Pune district region. My colleagues are here who are heading SME loan factories of different region. We have a AGM sir who is heading mid-corporate branch over here. So everything is structurized. We do have a segmentation wherein up to 250 crores of companies which have turnover up to 250 crores can be taken care by the SME loan factories, that is by us. And we do have a team, so whatever doubts and whatever queries we have, we can always have a discussion outside where our stall is there. So I request, please do come visit the stall and please do know about the various products we are offering there. So starting with this brief, I'll also like to focus mainly on 3 things, because these discussions and whenever the discussion session was going on, I have seen there were various queries on 3 aspects. One is collateral, another one is interest rate, and third one is that product. So I'm going to focus on all these 3 aspects only. The first thing which I'm going to focus is on rate of interest. So what we have in Bank of Baroda is that we can very well and very confidently say that we are going to offer you the best of rate of interest in the industry. And this rate of interest structure is actually available, and it is a very transparent structure. You can visit to the bank's website also to know about the rate of interest structure. So what is this rate of interest of Bank of Baroda is based upon? Basically, it is based upon 2 things. One, all the banks have actually adopted the pricing of repo link pricing. So whenever there will be interest rate fluctuation with the RBI, the rate of interest with the banks will go on changing. So this is called repo link pricing. So we have actually categorized 2 types of SMEs into 2 categories. One, those will be having the loans less than 15 crores, and one, those will be requiring loans more than 15 crores, up to 50 crores. जो 15 crores तक loan चाहते हैं, their pricing is basically linked to the CIBIL-based ranking that is called as a CMR rating. It is very, very plain and simple. If you have the highest credit discipline, your rating to CIBIL will be somewhere around CMR 1 to CMR 3, and you will get the best rate of interest there. If there are some defaults or some delinquencies in the past, so your CIBIL score will be somewhere at the downside, and there your rating will be somewhere between 3 to 6 bracket. So based upon these 2 parameters plus the collateral structure, the pricing will be decided. So now the question comes whether Bank of Baroda also offers collateral free loans. Yes, like our SME chamber chairman sir correctly said that we do have a schemes to offer collateral free loans up to 2 crores. Again, the pricing in the same also will be depend upon the CMR pricing. So this is for loan up to 15 crores. Another bracket is from 15 to 50 crores. Now, what Bank of Baroda has does that Bank of Baroda has made this pricing very simpler by way of linking it to SME rating, which is actually again given by some external rating agencies who are the same agencies which are giving the BLR rating, like we say CARE, ICRA, SMERA and everything. But these ratings are very simple. These will cost you around 5,000 to 10,000. and it will not be a comprehensive rating structure for that. And they will give you the band between 1 to 10. And when SME 1 is the highest, you will get the best of the pricing in the industry. So that is how Bank of Baroda has devised the rate of interest structure. This is our rate of interest structure. So you can see, I have given you on the slide where actually I have given the classification as like MSMEs up to 50 crores can take advantage of this pricing structure. Now, next thing is that what initiatives we have done as a Bank of Baroda. So we do have various schemes into the picture, like cluster-based approach, cash flow-based funding, then more trade finance product. One query was there from Sir regarding the LC. They have received the LC and whether that can be financed. By the Bank of Baroda. So, sir, let me tell you that we do have a trade finance product wherein we can finance you against the confirm orders received either in the form of confirm orders or against the LC. So you are always welcome to our SME loan factories, or you can have an inquiry with our desk outside to inquire more about this product. So see, there is actually not any specific product. We do have customized products also for SMEs. You name the product, you name the industry, we have a customized product for that. Various schemes which Bank of Baroda runs right now is for hospitals, it's called Arogya Dham. For education institute, it's called Vidyasthali. For textile industry, it is called textile scheme. Even for the dealers of petrol pumps, even for the mobile companies, even for the polymer industry, we have a supply chain product also in picture. Apart from that, we do have commercial vehicle and construction mining and equipment scheme, wherein like my dear colleagues from Tata Capital and Kotak Mahindra have explained the equipment financing part. That is also well taken care by the Bank of Baroda. We do have a scheme which is at par with all private players. So what I request you, please explore these products with our team. We also have arranged the flyers for different schemes outside. So you can please take those flyers, and if any queries are there, my team members will share the numbers with also with you, so you can get in touch with them at any time. Now, these are the products. Basically, another thing which actually I want to talk to you regarding the export and import, because this session is arranged for manufacturers as well as exporters and importers both. So let me tell you that we are very fortunate, and we have a very kind of legacy of around more than 100 years, wherein we have a considerable overseas presence for Indian banks. So because of that, we do have a forex reserves, forex deposits with us, because of what the cost of lending in foreign currency will always be better in the industry when you compare it with other banks. So whenever we say export finance, we do encourage you to please avail the lending in foreign currency, which actually will result into the lower cost of funding for you, because it will be linked to the right now LIBOR has been discouraged, and new pricing based upon the alternative rate reference has been introduced, which actually use the benchmark rates for USD and any foreign currency you say. So we do have presence in more than 15 countries with around more than 100 overseas branches outside, wherein we can arrange the funding from our own in-house branches. So the funding which will be making you available will be the best in the industry. That's what I'm saying. So you can always rely upon that. The cost of funding which will be used in foreign currency will be always on lower side when you use it from Bank of Baroda. So these are the export business. We have given certain glimpses. Whenever we are saying that whether we can use collateral-free export funding also. So my answer to that will be yes. We can always go for collateral-free export lending also, because it has some of the inherent advantages, like it has ECGC coverage. Also, it will be covered under CGTMSE. So these two advantages you can get coupled with your business, and you can always explore for the export business. So you are most welcome. If you want the collateral-free lending also, you are most welcome to the Bank of Baroda. Also, we do have export finance available in Indian currencies, wherein you will get the interest subvention, which will be again processed by the banks itself, wherein the monthly interest subvention credits will be given to your account. Coming to the import business, we do have all the products related to the LCs, SVLCs, UPAS LCs. I'll also like to introduce one of the product of UPAS LC to you, wherein just 3-4 years before, we all know what has happened with the bias credit product. It has been discouraged by RBI due to certain issues which happened with the certain banks. So for that, Bank of Baroda has introduced one product which is called as the UPAS letter of credit. It is actually usance payable letter of credit. What we do in that is that whenever you import some machinery or some material from overseas, so we will arrange the funding from our overseas branch based upon the comfort letter given by our domestic branch. And that finance, that import finance is at a much cheaper level, at a much cheaper rate that can be made you arranged by the overseas branch. So this is one of the specialized product called as the UPAS LC available to you from Bank of Baroda. Apart from that, we do have SVLCs. I actually got, मेरे पास बहुत सारी queries आती है सर जब ऐसा होता है कि collateral भी आपके पास नहीं है. So is there any another way wherein some company which is a subsidiary of foreign company, whether they can avail the loan? So we do have one of the way of funding this company based upon a standby letter of credit. Standby letter of credit होता क्या है कि आपका जो overseas counterpart है, they will issue some kind of guarantee to the assistance which you are going to avail from Bank of Baroda or any bank. So आपसे कोई tangible security नहीं पूछी जाएगी. Instead of that, we will be taking that guarantee as our collateral security. And we will make the funding available to you in terms of, say, working capital or term loan or anything, whatever your requirement is. So this is also some kind of unique product which we have. So this was about the security, about the rate of interest I have told you. Now the third part which actually I'm going to tell you regarding the service. Services, yes, we do have the branch structure in place. Wherever you go, I can confidently say that within the radius of 3 kilometers, you will find a Bank of Baroda branch. And with Bank of Baroda, with merged with Vijaya Bank and Dena Bank, now the structure has been immensely grown. Another thing is we do have all digital products in structure. So Bank of Baroda has started giving all paperless facilities even for the loans also. If you say the bank guarantee, even the bank guarantees can be issued through an online manner, wherein you can upload the documents or the portal which is called as a Baroda Insta portal given to you, wherein you can upload your documents, you can have BGs issued instantly in the online model itself. Regarding the Forex product, we do have one digitalized portal named as a Baroda Insta, wherein all Forex rates and everything you can take on the online, you can compare it with the interbank participants also, and you can avail the code there. Regarding the foreign currency conversion also, we do have the best of the margins given by among the peers. For a new entrant, the margin will generally be around 5 paisa to 4 paisa. Even based upon your turnover and everything, the banks can accept the request up to 1 paisa, 2 paisa also. So these are all about the services. So what I request you name the service, we can customize the product. Even we have tailor-made products also with us. So to know more about the products, more about the services, I do request all of the participants to please contact our desk over there. We do have a dedicated team over here. Even after that, we have around 5 SME loan factories in Pune, located in Pune itself, which are always available to serve you. And they are headed by the experts and credit analysts in their fields. So I do invite you all to please take opportunity for that and give us the opportunity to serve you well. And we are very open to serve you more. And SME has always been, as all the dignitaries say, that SME has always been born to the country. So we also are looking for good SMEs to collaborate with, to have the business with. Thank you. That's all from my side.
And now I would like to invite Mr. G.N. Shivaramakrishna, Chief Operating Officer, USmart AI, and the topic is Transforming Business for Digital Era.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is G.N. Sivaramakrishna. I am the Chief Operating Officer of USmart AI. We are a small startup right now, but we are planning to go big. We are from the Sumit Group, Pune. I would like to let you know what is our mission and how will it help the SME industry in particular. If you look at the topic for the event today, it says strengthening SMEs into global competitiveness. So how can we as an organization help SMEs to become competitive globally? And if you look at the name that we are in the organization, it says you smart, which means we want to make you smart, every one of you, in your business. In this event today, so far you have been all listening to various aspects of your business, whether it is insurance, whether it is capital, whether it is banking service, or whether it is marketing support from Chalk Walk, etc. What else are you requiring for you to become sharp in your business? And what else is required for you to become globally competitive? It is to adopt a great IT system, a great software system. I have been in the IT industry from 1985, and I have seen various generations of technology being adopted for various organizations like you. Many a times what happens is people adopt technologies which are not current or not contemporary, but one generation behind, and then they try to grow. But over the last 3 decades, information technology has grown in such a fashion that you can start off where it is currently contemporary and grow from there. In the past, about 30 years ago or 40 years ago, any large enterprise information technology system was only possible for a company which has already grown in size unto a certain magnitude or something like that. So what happens is, in the growth stages of organizations like what you are all today, they would strive very hard with people and try to get things organized for their productivity, for their production, for their marketing, supply chain, for their management of materials, etc. And then when they come to a size and grow to a size, they realize, yes, I need to introduce an IT system. And then they introduce an IT system, and all of you must have heard of things like MRP, ERP, etc., all that. Today it is all a thing of a changed difference. Whether you are a startup company, whether you are a single employee company, whether you are a company growing at a 5% per annum pace, or whether you are a company multiplying your business many times every year, you can start an IT system from day one. That is what an artificial intelligence system can do for you, and that is where we are into. What we do is, whether your company is a very small startup company or something, we will help you to create a small software system today, which will be very small in its own size, which is matching along with the size of your organization. But it will help you to multiply, grow your systems in such a way that as and when your business grows, you are expanding into your number of offices, more number of employees, more number of customers, and more number of even suppliers for you and things like that. The system also automatically grows with you. You don't have to wait for your company. Today when we were talking in the morning, when somebody was asking a question, how many companies in 100 crore turnover, 1 or 2 hands came up? How many companies 50 crores turnover, another 3 or 4 hands came up? How many companies less than 10 crores? Many hands come up. True. Is it that only that the 100 crore company should have a software system? No. Even a company which is just 50 lakhs in turnover can adopt a software system. One might immediately ask a question, how much will it cost? You want a solution starting from 50,000 rupees? We'll give you. You want to spend 50 lakh rupees also? We'll give you. You want to go up to spending 5 crore rupees? We'll give you a solution. So this is one facet of a business where You can start investing small and then grow along with your business. But you are also surely having an information technology system that is allowing you to grow and then reflect into the topic what we are talking today, which is strengthening SMEs to become globally competitive. So having said that, let me just give you a brief about what are the services as a company we offer and how we can be of help to you in your growth, in your path, after having fulfilled all the basic obligations like the production of your company, productivity factor, your money, your finance, your insurance, your supply chain management, your raw material procurement, your client management, all of that, the umbrella that you need is a good information technology system. Okay, USmart is a artificial intelligence data-driven company where we help create a product for you, which is going to be a software solution which will take care of all your aspects of your business and help you make you competitive. Our mission is to become a leader in providing artificial intelligence solutions and cloud computing with services globally. When I was telling you that we can give you a solution starting from even 50,000 rupees, that's what I meant. In today's information technology, if somebody wants to come and give you a solution, you not need to buy a huge set of servers and machines and things like that. We'll create a product for you and we'll host it on the cloud for you, and you start paying in a subscription model as much as your business grows. Our approach is basically open-minded and innovative. We will tailor a solution for whoever it is, whether it is a chemical exporter who spoke about his business, or whether it's an automobile component manufacturer who's doing his business, or it's a trading organization, or any other type of business organization. What are the services we offer? Some of these terminologies may be a little bit technical, but please do not worry, we will explain to you one-on-one when we sit and talk to you about what the solutions are. Blockchain is basically to try and create a combined network of systems which affects every aspect of your business, every functionality in your company. So blockchain technology can be developed, but it can be done for even a small company or even a large company. And definitely a web application and mobile app development. Like we were also seeing that if you do not have a awareness creation about your organization through the digital arena, it will be difficult for you to grow. So we can create a good web application for you and a mobile app development along with that. This is something which is very important. You may not have in the starting stages of your company a lot of data or big data, that what we call, but you will have data that will be useful for you, that is available in the internet, that will be used for your business development. So we'll be able to create a big data network for you and see that as and when your business grows, the data which you are growing, it will be accommodated. As I mentioned to you, cloud computing, we'll be able to host all your applications and have your business done in cloud computing. Typically what is happening is you also need to be digitally configured in whatever phase of business you are in to be competitive in the world, and your customers will expect you to do that, your partners will expect you to do that, your suppliers also will expect you to do that, your bankers will also expect you to do that. Even the bankers were telling today that you don't have to go 30 kilometers to fill forms. You can sit in your own place and do whatever work you need to do. Data science and machine learning is something which will be a little higher in order. As and when the organization grows, it will be adopted. So what do we do actually? There are certain aspects of creating the IT solution. Statistical modeling is basically useful for taking statistics about how your business is. We'll understand what is your domain of your business. We'll understand what kind of statistics are required for you to understand, And we will be able to give a predictive analysis. If you look at on the right hand side, there is something called predictive analysis. We'll be able to give you business models that will help you to drive your other functionalities also. So that is where artificial intelligence comes. It helps you in creating certain predictive analysis models for how you can, channelize your resources, channelize your manufacturing processes, and channelizing your supply chain activities, etc. Deep learning, data mining, and unsupervised learning aspects. These are all certain things which can be programmed as and when you are growing your systems and processes, plus even your quality control mechanism and things like that. The next 2 slides will just talk to you and tell you about what technologies that we are working on and what are the partners that we are having in our development activity, which will be just for you to understand how it works basically. So our approach is basically we work in trying to understand your core values of your business. We understand the culture of how your organization is going to go and meet your own outside world. How can we make your solution client oriented by way of configuring the product and also creating a passion for excellence and integrity? These are all some of the things which we do. We have a very consultative approach. We will sit with your team and understand what is required and which areas of your business we will start with an integrated IT system and how we can add one by one functionality and bring it to a total enterprise management system. Why use smart? We are a quality-oriented organization and we are bringing people with experience in the industry. A lot of people are there in the company with us right now with more than 20 years, 25 years of experience of having created software solutions for companies, whether it's a manufacturing company or a trading company or a company in entertainment industry or a company in media or company in any industry for that matter. So that qualitative approach we can bring, and also all your processes that support your core functions, how can we provide all that quality aspects? That kind of qualitative approach we can show you when we are developing that. Improved processes. Many organizations, what happen is like they will try and adopt what is available in the industry for them. For example, a small company which is getting into manufacturing automobile components may try and adopt some of the existing processes. We can come back and tell you that how you can improve some of those processes also. Proactive support in terms of guiding your people, because each and every employee of your company need to be as IT savvy as he is or she is needed to be. Only then your organization will get shaped up for managing and reaching out to the world. And cross-industry and domain expertise is something that we have. As normally in any software organization, what we do is we have technology people and we have industry-specific people. Industry-specific people go with functionality as well as the segment. So, which means somebody who's expert in financial management, somebody who's expert in inventory management, somebody who's expert in productivity or production, plus somebody who's expert in a textile segment or somebody who's expert in a manufacturing discrete or process, etc. So that kind of common experience, inter-domain experience, plus technology and vertical function mix are all the factors that we will bring it to you. We do not want you to get deterred by the fact that, oh, what is artificial intelligence? What is machine learning? Is it too big a size, or is it something that is not going to be my cup of tea today as a small company? If you are wanting to have business development, if you want to have finance, if you want to have raw materials, if you want to have people, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you also need a good information technology system. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I know it's the time for break, but before going to break, we are going to have two more speakers and the lunch break will be there. And now I would like to call Mr. Gagandeep Singh, Senior Manager, SME Listing Western Regional Office, National Stock Exchange of India Limited. And the topic is alternate sources of funding for SMEs via capital market.
Am I audible? Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. And I understand it's a tough session to be in. Everybody's waiting for a break, and lunch will be served soon. But before that, it will be my duty, to come and talk about a little different topic than what we have heard since morning out here. Everybody knows that we're in the game to make money. We are here to survive. We are here to lead. We're talking about the Indian economy. And there will be no growth in the economy if we don't see the SME sector growing. We have always talked about agriculture as the backbone of our economy. I guess that still may be true, but I personally really feel that SME is the only sector which is actually the backbone of our economy, because once they grow, everybody grows. All the bigger companies one day were SMEs, and I guess they have reached where they have. And you have heard all the stalwarts since beginning of their journeys and how they have made it. And most of all, my topic is not related to directly towards how the growth has been, but what if you have reached an amount of growth in your company, and then from there, if you want to grow further, how do we differentiate that, right? And how can we do that for a particular company? So as you can see, I represent National Stock Exchange of India Limited. I look after the Western region, Maharashtra and Goa inclusive. The specific topic that I have is NSE Emerge. Emerge is a name of a platform which we have made specifically for the growing SME companies of our country, where we are helping SMEs to list on the stock market via an IPO and raise funds from the public. Now, I'm sure you would have already heard about an SME platform, but it will be, honestly an honest answer for me to understand whether there is somebody in the room who doesn't really know that there is an SME exchange in the country today. A raise of hands will be really helpful. Anybody who does not know that there is an SME exchange for SMEs to raise funds from the market? So I guess everybody knows about that already. You know or you don't know? How many of you know about the platform? So how many of you know about the platform? So around 20-25% of the room knows about it. Well, it's a shock for me because it's not just NSE, but BSE together. We've been talking about this particular platform for almost 10 years now. As Shrikantji said, Mr. Salunke said in the beginning, way back in 2008, there was a task force committee set up to understand the need of the growing SME and what is the gap in the capital structure for them. How can capital be provided to the growing SMEs? And I'm sure you will agree with me that in the last 2 decades, if you would have seen, the size of the IPOs on the main board has drastically increased. You might not really see a IPO of 50 crore, 100 crore, 200 crore on the main board. Main board, when I say, an IPO platform for all the larger companies. So we call that as the main board platform, which has been the platform throughout on all these legacies of the exchanges. So if you see, the sizes of the IPOs have increased, does not mean that no smaller IPOs cannot come, or the companies who are in that particular range cannot raise small funds also from the market. Or maybe your books are not that great, which can fetch you an IPO of maybe 1,000 crore, 2,000 crore, 10,000 crore, right? So with that particular thought in mind, 2008, a task force committee was set up to understand the need of the SME sector. And in 2012, both the exchanges, NSE and BSE put together, were given this mandate to start an SME platform. And since then till today, we have listed around 270 odd companies on this particular platform, which have collectively raised around 4,000 crores from the public. Now that may not seem too big, because we have been hearing big numbers throughout. Whenever you open TV, you open any stock market channel, you always hear about 1,000 crore turn, IPO size, 10,000 crore IPO size. So 4,000 is very small. But if you look on an average, these companies would have raised somewhere around 16 odd crore rupees per IPO per company. So now the 16 crore may sound very big, may sound very small, depending upon what kind of a nature and the business you are in, right? It might be just a drop of an ocean for a larger company, but for a smaller company, that drop itself is an ocean. True or not, right? So the idea is to help growing companies to list on the stock market and then further propel their growth by, maybe you want to come out for IPO and for any reason, right? Capital raising need not necessarily be only for, IPO need not be only for capital raising. It can have any other means and ways as well. It can be for more marketing for your company. It can be for more credibility with your own stakeholders, with the bankers, to fetch more debt for yourself at a better rate as well. I'm sure you all will agree that all those listed companies today that you see, they raise larger funds, but the rate of interest is lower. But for an SME company, they raise smaller funds, but the rate of interest is higher. Why do you think this is the case? Any answer? Risk. That means you are not credible enough. Banks don't look at you in a certain manner, where how they look at the bigger companies, because their corporate governance norms are already in place. They're already a governed entity. They already have SEBI as a board, right, who is governing these kind of companies. So their risk tolerance level becomes a little higher. So they can easily, so-called maybe easily, can give them their loans at a cheaper rate. But for an SME company, because it's a little unknown universe. Now, as I guess in the beginning itself, somebody asked, Mr. Talunke himself asked, that do you know the entrepreneur sitting right next to you? The answer was no, right? So when you don't know each other, right, so how do you think a banker will know you? Based only on your books. And beginning, again, I am referring to a lot of things since beginning, because I've been here in the beginning hearing a lot of things. बोला जाता है कि चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स बुक्स बनाते हैं डिपेंडिंग अपॉन व्हाट यू नीड. सो आप अगर अपनी बैलेंस शीट खुद देखोगे तो आपको लगता है कोई आज बाहर से आपकी बुक्स में इन्वेस्ट करना रेडी होगा? क्या आप खुद अपनी बुक में इन्वेस्ट करोगे अगर आप आउटसाइडर होते तो? इफ यू फाइंड द आंसर येस, दैट मीन्स यू आर डूइंग जस्टिस टू योर बिजनेस एंड योर बुक्स. If the answer is no, or you're thinking about it, that means you still have to do justice to your own books. So the point is, हमें खुद को ही अपने आप को एक थोड़ा सा कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस नॉर्म्स के अंदर लाना पड़ेगा. वो नहीं लेके आएंगे, शायद जो हम सपने सोच रहे हैं इतनी आसानी से ना हम सच कर पाएँ. एंड दैट्स अ हार्ड फैक्ट. हमको लगता है हम किसी और पे ब्लेम कर देते हैं. आई एम सॉरी, आई एम गोइंग अ लिटिल आउट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट, बट किसी और को ब्लेम करना बहुत आसान है, बट खुद को भी देखना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आई नो देयर आर स्ट्रगल्स एवरीवेयर, राइट? But the point here is that if your books are good, investors will come and invest in those books. You don't have to really chase investors. The moment you are known in the market, people will come to you. Right now, you are going to the public to ask for funds, right? So these kind of platforms provide you that kind of a facility, provide you that kind of a visibility in the market as well. So this is a platform which is, again, governed by SEBI altogether. However, SEBI has given the rights to the exchanges to approve or reject any offer document that comes on the platform. So that means if a SME company wants to raise funds from the market, they have to prepare a document called as DRHP, which is a draft red herring prospectus. आसान शब्दों में कंपनी की कुंडली है, तो आप जो दिखाओगे उसी को देख के इन्वेस्टर इन्वेस्ट करेंगे. सो वो एक ग्रंथ बन जाता है आपका 300-350 पेज के आसपास का, डिपेंडिंग पर आप क्या करते हैं. प्रमोटर्स का बैकग्राउंड, बिजनेस का बैकग्राउंड, कब से स्टार्ट हुआ है, फाइनेंशियल ड्यू डिलिजेंस, लीगल ड्यू डिलिजेंस, you know, these kind of all things are documented in that particular book. Based on that particular book, investors go through that and then choose to invest or not invest in a company. Now that document is submitted to the exchange for approval. Exchanges give their own approval, but on the main board, it also goes for approval to the SEBI as well, where time can take a little longer. But over here, because it doesn't go to SEBI, approvals can come as fast as in 1 month's time as well. So your IPO dream may become successful within a period of only 4 to 5 months as well. Maybe shorter as well, depending upon what kind of formation your company is into, right? ट्रेडिंग टर्मिनल्स, जो जिस टर्मिनल पे आज स्टॉक मार्केट में आपका स्टॉक ट्रेड होता है मेन बोर्ड कंपनीज का, उसी टर्मिनल पे एसएमई स्टॉक्स भी ट्रेड होते हैं. तो कोई नया सेटअप नहीं किया एक्सचेंजेस ने, मर्चेंट बैंकर्स ने कोई नया सेटअप नहीं लेके आया, इन्वेस्टर्स ने कोई नया सेटअप लेके नहीं आया. इट्स द सेम प्लेटफॉर्म, इट्स जस्ट दैट आईपीओ लाइफ में एक ही बार आता है. बिकॉज इट इज कॉल्ड एज इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफर। उसके बाद फॉलो ऑन पब्लिक ऑफर्स आते हैं। तो आपका आईपीओ भले ही एसएमई प्लेटफॉर्म पे आए या मेन बोर्ड प्लेटफॉर्म से पे आए, उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता, एसएमई आईपीओ एक ही बार आएगा। सो इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे जब आप लिस्ट करते हैं, यहाँ से आपकी जर्नी शुरू होती है कैपिटल मार्केट के अंदर, एंड उसमें एक अपॉर्चुनिटी भी है दैट वंस यू आर लिस्टेड हियर आफ्टर सम टाइम एंड फॉलोइंग सम गाइडलाइंस, यू कैन माइग्रेट टू मेन बोर्ड एज वेल। आउट ऑफ दोज 270 ऑड कंपनीज जो आज मेन बोर्ड पे सॉरी एसएमई प्लेटफॉर्म पे जो आईपीओ लेके आई हैं, ऑलमोस्ट 110 कंपनीज माइग्रेट कर चुकी हैं मेन बोर्ड पे। एंड यू विल नॉट बिलीव इफ आई से दिस फॉर अ फैक्ट, 110 कंपनीज में से आई फील हार्डली कुछ गिनी चुनी कंपनीज होंगी जो मेन बोर्ड के क्राइटेरियाज को पास करती होंगी। मैंने से दैट अगर आपकी कंपनी को आईपीओ लेके आना है, आपको अगर मेन बोर्ड जाना है, तो उसके जो क्राइटेरिया बहुत स्ट्रिंजेंट है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से 15 करोड़ का पैट चाहिए, बट शायद यहाँ रूम में देर नॉट इवन कंपनीज जो 15 करोड़ का टर्नओवर बनाती हैं, तो 15 करोड़ का पैट तो बहुत दूर की बात है। पैट इज प्रॉफिट आफ्टर टैक्स, राइट? सो मेन बोर्ड के नाम से उतने स्ट्रिंजेंट हैं, बट आज ये 110 कंपनी शायद 15 करोड़ का पैट नहीं बनाती हैं, बट स्टिल मेन बोर्ड पे माइग्रेट होकर लिस्टेड है अलॉन्ग ऑल दोज कंपनीज जो उन सब नॉर्म्स को क्वालिफाई करती हैं। वाई? बिकॉज दिस प्लेटफॉर्म गेव देम एन एंट्री टू दैट टू द मेन बोर्ड एज वेल। सो इट इज एक्चुअली एन इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, बिकॉज अगर ये स्टेपिंग स्टोन नहीं होता एज अ प्लेटफॉर्म, शायद ये 260 कंपनियां जो लिस्टेड है एनएससी मर्ज पे, शायद मेन बोर्ड पे कभी लिस्ट ही नहीं कर पाती। So I guess government and the institutes did a wonderful job of thinking about this particular thing and then starting it. Now the number seems very small. NSE पे कुछ 270 कंपनीज, BSA पे कुछ अराउंड 394 और 95 और कंपनीज, मतलब 400 कंपनीज, समवेयर अराउंड 650 कंपनीज लिस्ट हुई हैं आज तक एसएमई प्लेटफॉर्म पर। 10 साल हो चुके हैं, 2012 से 2022 तक। तो इट्स जस्ट अगेन अ ड्रॉप इन दी ओशन। आई गेस द ट्रू पोटेंशियल इज येट टू कम आउट, बट इन सब कंपनीज का एटलीस्ट एनएससी पे जो कंपनीज लिस्टेड हैं 270 कंपनीज, उसका कलेक्टिव मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन टुडे इज 45,000 करोड़। सो दिस इज ह्यूज थिंग। अगर अनलिस्टेड रहते तो शायद ये पोटेंशियल कभी अनलॉक ही नहीं हो पाता। तो ओनली बिकॉज देर इज अ प्लेटफॉर्म, कंपनीज केम फॉरवर्ड एंड देन दे गॉट लिस्टेड। अभी जो ड्यूरेशन है इसका पूरा, कि ये प्लेटफॉर्म भी बना दिया है, इन्वेस्टर्स भी हैं, बट प्रोमोटर्स का विलिंगनेस टू कम फॉरवर्ड एंड लिस्ट मेक्स अ ह्यूज डिफरेंस। कई बार लोगों को लगता है अरे मैं पब्लिक जाऊंगा तो मेरे ट्रेड सीक्रेट्स बाहर आ जाएंगे। आज तक कोक का फॉर्मूला पता है किसी को? बट लिस्टेड तो है। सो द फॉर्मूलाज डोंट कम आउट, बट आपके जो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन है वो वैसे भी पब्लिक डोमेन में है। आप लोग अपनी बैलेंस शीट प्रिपेयर करते हैं, एमसी की वेबसाइट पे है, 199 रुपीज़ से मिलते हैं। तो अगर आपके कॉम्पिटिशन को जानना है आपके बारे में, जस्ट गो एंड डाउनलोड दोज बैलेंस शीट्स। उसके ज़्यादा मतलब दे हैव मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन अराउंड थ्रू द इनफॉर्मल चैनल्स एज वेल। सो द पॉइंट इज दैट योर इन्फॉर्मेशन इज ऑलरेडी इन द पब्लिक डोमेन। तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि मेरी कंपनी के बारे में सिर्फ मुझे सब पता है, बाहरों वाल को नहीं पता है। जिसको जानना है सबको सब पता है। इट्स जस्ट दैट द माइंडसेट हैज़ टू शिफ्ट फ्रॉम अ टैक्स सेवी बैलेंस शीट टू अ वेल्थ क्रिएशन मोड। जो आज सुबह से वही चीज़ें आई गेस बार बार दोहराई जा रही हैं सिंस द फर्स्ट सेशन, कि that mindset shift has to come wherein these books will go ahead and make us fetch the revenue out here. So if you see, this is where we have placed this particular platform. And when I say this platform is basically for growing SMEs. It's not a startup platform. तो initially नहीं आपको इसमें funding मिलेगा. We have placed this right next to the private equity guys. क्योंकि private equity level पे we अंडरस्टैंड दैट प्रोमोटर का माइंडसेट ऐसा हो चुका है दैट इफ ही नीड्स टू ग्रो, ही नीड्स टू लेट हिज इक्विटी गो आउट ऑफ हिज हैंड, एंड इज ऑलरेडी विलिंग टू लेट गो ऑफ हिज इक्विटी टू अ प्राइवेट प्लेयर. सो इफ ही इज विलिंग टू डू दैट, he might as well be willing to raise funds from the public as well, right? So that's the entire ideology. That's the reason why we have placed it there, and after that you can migrate to main board as well. This is what I was talking about. 273 companies, 45,000 crore market capitalization, 4,350 crore rupees raised so far, and on an average around 16 crore का IPO size. इसका मतलब है एवरेज साइज है, लोएस्ट जो IPO आया है वो 4 करोड़ का भी आया है, और जो मैक्सिमम अभी तक आया है NSE मर्ज में वो 88 करोड़ का आया है. Both the companies from Maharashtra. So I can say smaller also from Maharashtra, bigger also from Maharashtra, right? So this is the average that came out. There is no upper cap. क्या आप 100 करोड़ से ऊपर रेस कर सकते हो? Yes. If your books allow you, you can raise more than that as well, depending upon how well your books are placed in that. We are sector agnostic. Mostly all kinds of sectors have listed so far. So around 21 different sectors have been tapped by this particular platform already. So there is no, what do you call, we don't say no to any particular sector if you're into. Now let's come to the eligibility criteria. कौन सी कंपनी लिस्ट कर सकती है प्लेटफॉर्म पे? इट्स ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो. आई हैव वेरी शॉर्ट टाइम, सो आई जस्ट क्विकली रन यू थ्रू दिस. There is no turnover criteria. SEBI has come out with only one single criteria stating a company जिसका paid up capital, आपकी बैलेंस शीट चेक कीजिएगा, जिसका paid up capital अगर 25 करोड़ से कम है फेस वैल्यू पे, तो वो SME IPO पे लिस्ट हो सकती है. IPO लेके आ सकती है SME प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर. When you say 25 करोड़ से कम, that means almost all the unlisted companies today might fall under this particular criteria, barring few companies जिसके अंदर capital intensive business होगा तो 25 करोड़ से ज़्यादा का paid up हो सकता है उसके अंदर. That's the only criteria given by SEBI. There is no turnover criteria, there is no profit after tax criteria. Company should be profitable is what we as an exchange feel, otherwise सब companies आ जाएंगी IPO लेके आने के लिए. So just to negate that, we have kept some operational checks wherein we look at least 3 years of operational criteria for the company ताकि 3 balance sheets हो आपकी. Now क्वेश्चन होगा कि मैं तो ऑलरेडी काम कर रहा हूँ प्रोप्राइटरशिप में या पार्टनरशिप में या प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है या पब्लिक लिमिटेड क्लोजली हेल्ड में. आईपीओ हमेशा एक पब्लिक लिमिटेड क्लोजली हेल्ड कंपनी में नहीं बट पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी में आता है. सो अगर आप अभी पार्टनरशिप में काम कर रहे हैं, प्रोप्राइटरशिप में काम कर रहे हैं, तो टर्न आप उसको कन्वर्ट कीजिए या न्यू कंपनी बनाइए जिसके अंदर वो आप उसको बिजनेस को एब्जॉर्ब कर सकते हैं एंड देन मेक देम अ पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी, और पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी के अंदर से आईपीओ आएगा. सो ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड जो मैंने लिखा है उसके अंदर 3 साल का ऑपरेशनल. We will give you the track record benefit because promoter is same and they have been running the business in the last same name. So अगर बैलेंस शीट भले ही पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी की 1 साल की हो या 6 महीने की हो, इट्स ओके बिकॉज आपकी जो प्रीवियस बैलेंस शीट होगी विल गिव यू दैट बेनिफिट एज वेल. सो डोंट थिंक कि मैं पहले कंपनी बनाता हूँ फिर 3 साल बिजनेस करूंगा फिर आईपीओ लेके आऊँगा, बिकॉज वी अंडरस्टैंड SMEs हैव बीन फंक्शनिंग इन अ वेरी डिफरेंट मैनर. और जैसे सबने बोला है कोई एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड आंसर नहीं होता है, हर एक का यूनिक प्रॉब्लम है, हर एक का यूनिक सोल्यूशन है. सो दैट्स व्हाट वी थॉट. प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी की बात की जाए, कोविड रियली इम्पैक्टेड. हमारा पहले क्राइटेरिया था कि लास्ट 2 साल कंटिन्यूस प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए, भले ही वो 1 रुपये की हो बट होनी चाहिए. बट दैट हैज़ टू कम फ्रॉम योर कोर ऑपरेशंस, अदर इनकम से नहीं. कुछ SME बैलेंस शीट्स के अंदर अदर इनकम होती है, एग्रीकल्चर इनकम, रेंटल इनकम, एनी अदर इनकम विच इज़ नॉन फ्रॉम द कोर ऑपरेशंस. तो कोर ऑपरेशन से अगर प्रॉफिट आएगा विल हेल्प यू विद दैट. अब बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड हमने डेफिनेशन को ट्वीक करके किसी भी 2 साल में प्रॉफिट हो आउट ऑफ एनी आफ्टर द लास्ट 3 years, सो वी विल गिव यू दैट बेनिफिट एज वेल. एंड नेटवर्थ शुड बी पॉजिटिव. अगर आज नेटवर्थ नेगेटिव है इट्स ओके, नोबडी इज पेनलाइजिंग यू फॉर दैट बिकॉज आपको ऑपरेशनल प्रॉब्लम था वो. सो वंस यू आर फाइलिंग द ऑफर डॉक्यूमेंट, जो बैलेंस शीट आप यूज करोगे उसके अंदर आपका नेटवर्थ पॉजिटिव होना चाहिए बस. दीज आर द ओनली क्राइटेरियाज. Having said that, let's look at the practicality because of time constraints. I'll tell you this one thing. From our experience, a company within a turnover of at least around 10-15 crore plus gets a little bit of eyeballs from the investors as well. Anything lower than that, personal recommendation, removing NSE cap should not come for listing. Why? Because आप बहुत ही छोटे से turnover पे अपनी 25% equity market में dilute कर दोगे. तो इक्विटी इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एंड द मोस्ट एक्सपेंसिव असेट अ प्रोमोटर विल एवर ओन. अगर आज आपने छोटे से उसको आईपीओ के साइज के लिए आपने अगर लिक्विडेट कर दिया, सो यू विल बी लूजिंग आउट ऑन द लॉन्ग रन, राइट. सो यू हैव टू सेफगार्ड योर इक्विटी, यू हैव टू थिंक सेंसिबली बिफोर डूइंग दैट, राइट. वी आर आई एम अवेलेबल पोस्ट दिस सेशन एज वेल फॉर डिस्कशंस. वी कैन टेक थिंग्स फॉरवर्ड ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ मेकिंग इट. थैंक यू सो मच. परफेक्ट. Correct. All right. I'll tell you the kharcha also, sir. But before that, I'll just take you through the regulatory framework एक बार, क्योंकि खर्चा is important to know, right? See, from an IPO perspective, कौन सी एजेंसीज इन्वॉल्व होती हैं? स्टॉक एक्सचेंज होता है और आपका एक मर्चेंट बैंकर इन्वॉल्व होता है. सो मेजर काम आपका सारा का सारा मर्चेंट बैंकर करता है. जो DRHP की हम बात कर रहे थे, विच इज द प्रोस्पेक्टस, ड्राफ्ट हेडिंग प्रोस्पेक्टस, वो मर्चेंट बैंकर बनाता है. लाइक इन अ कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ आप अपना केस खुद लड़ सकते हो, आपको लॉयर की जरूरत नहीं है. यू कैन बी योर ओन लॉयर. But in the stock markets, you need to have a merchant banker who's already approved by SEBI. So category 1 merchant bankers होते हैं जो आपका IPO लेके आते हैं. So major cost वहाँ पे जाता है जब आपका financial due diligence करेंगे, legal due diligence करेंगे, सब कुछ करेंगे. So खर्चा मोटा मोटा डिपेंडिंग अपॉन 2 साइज में डिवाइड होता है. Let's say for example 4 करोड़ का IPO साइज है आपका, 4 करोड़ का, राइट. उसके अंदर आपका एक फिक्स कॉस्ट होगा, एक वेरिएबल कॉस्ट होगा. फिक्स कॉस्ट क्या है? ये सब प्रेपरेशन वाला कॉस्ट. जो आपके मर्चेंट बैंकर्स ले जाएंगे, एक्सचेंज की फीस होगी, सब कुछ मिला के, तो मे बी एनीवेयर अराउंड 20-30 लाख रुपीस का खर्चा उसके अंदर आता है, क्योंकि इट्स अ फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट।
जो ये मर्चेंट बैंकर है, ये एसएमई को टाटा बिरला के इक्वल में नहीं रखता है ना?
नहीं,
इसके बारे में
नहीं,
आपने कुछ इसका डिफाइन किया है?
एब्सोल्युटली, एब्सोल्युटली,
लिस्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज?
यस।
Okay, so you recommend this list of the companies to the SME companies, right?
Yeah, so what happens is these are again SEBI registered merchant bankers, so they're already a part of their SEBI list. With exchange, they don't have a direct tie-up. So कुछ भी होता है तो SEBI directly उनका कान पकड़ता है. Exchanges are not in that particular picture. But because they are SEBI registered, उनकी goodwill impact पे ज़्यादा असर पड़ता है अगर वो ढंग से काम नहीं करेंगे तो, क्योंकि इसमें क्लॉज दिया है सेबी ने, जो इसमें लिखा हुआ है, इफ़ यू सी द फार एंड कॉर्नर, वहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है सबसे नीचे 100% अंडर राइटिंग। इसका मतलब क्या है, अगर आप आईपीओ लेके आते हो और लेस से 4 करोड़ का आईपीओ था और लास्ट डे पे सिर्फ 3 करोड़ के ही सब्सक्रिप्शन आया, तो जनरल टर्म्स में मेन बोर्ड पे आईपीओ फेल हो जाएगा वो, क्योंकि सब्सक्रिप्शन पूरा नहीं हुआ है। बट एसएमई ने इतनी मेहनत की, प्रमोटर ने इतना मेहनत किया, सब कुछ टास्क किया, और सिर्फ 3 करोड़ आया और 1 करोड़ की वजह से आईपीओ फेल हो जाएगा। सेबी ये नहीं चाहता था, इसलिए द लास्ट 1 करोड़ हैज टू बी पेड बाय द मर्चेंट बैंकर्स इन देयर ओन बुक्स। क्यों? इज हायर, दैट मीन्स ही विल बी वेरी कॉशियस कि वो कौन सा आईपीओ लेके आ रहा है। सी, इनकम इज वन थिंग, एक्सपेंस सर, हर एक चीज का एक्सपेंस है, राइट, बट उनकी जिम्मेदारी ज्यादा बढ़ जाती है। तो एक्सचेंजेस कैन बी लिटिल रिलैक्स एज वेल, बाय बिकॉज दे आर द पीपल हु आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दिस। नहीं होगा सर, वो इक्विटी है, क्योंकि वो सेबी ने बोला है उनको। बट हैविंग सेड, लेट्स लुक एट द प्रैक्टिकलिटी। अगर मर्चेंट बैंकों को लगता है कि वो आपके लिए 4 करोड़ नहीं फेच कर पाएगा, तो आपका आईपीओ ओपन नहीं करेगा। सिंपल है, मर्चेंट बैंकर भी अपने आप पे ब्रेड एंड बटर रन कर रहा है। इट्स अ ऑपरेशनल एस्पेक्ट फॉर एवरीबडी, बट इफ ही इज कॉन्फिडेंट एंड खुदा ना खास्ता कुछ गलत चले जाता है एंड सब्सक्रिप्शन पूरा नहीं हो पाता है, सो दे हैव टू पुट दैट मनी फ्रॉम देयर बुक्स। दिस इज व्हाट सेबी वांटेड टू प्रोटेक्ट एसएमई प्रमोटर्स। जनरली हमेशा सेबी का इंटरेस्ट क्या रहता है, एक्सचेंज का इंटरेस्ट क्या रहता है, वी हैव टू प्रोटेक्ट इन्वेस्टर्स इंटरेस्ट, बिकॉज गठन ही सेबी का इन्वेस्टर को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए किया गया है। बट यहाँ पे बिकॉज एसएमई एक ऐसा डोमेन है जिसका एक यूनिक प्रॉब्लम सेट भी है, उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए सेबी ने बनाया है। सो कुडोज टू दोज गाइज जो एक्चुअली डिड द फैंटास्टिक जॉब ऑफ डूइंग दिस, राइट। डाइल्यूशन की बात करते हैं, 25% डाइल्यूशन मैंडेटरी है। सो इफ यू आर होल्डिंग 100%, 25% ऑफ योर इक्विटी विल गेट डाइल्यूटेड ड्यूरिंग दिस प्रोसेस, और ये नॉन नेगोशिएबल है, ये सेबी का रूल है। आप बोलो सिर्फ मैं 5%, 10%, 20% करता ऐसा नहीं होगा, 25 से ऊपर कर सकते हो, 100% नहीं बेच सकते हो, क्योंकि अगेन एसएमईज को कोई जानता नहीं है अभी। तो उसमें क्या किया है, आप मैक्सिमम 79% बेच सकते हो, 20% प्रमोटर का इक्विटी लॉक्ड इन रहेगा, ताकि अगर कोई नया सेट ऑफ इन्वेस्टर आ रहा है जो कंपनी को टेक ओवर कर रहा है, एटलीस्ट को 3 साल मिले कंपनी को समझने के लिए और एक स्मूथ ऑपरेशंस करने के लिए। ये क्लॉज किसके लिए रखा गया है, इज बेसिकली फॉर प्रोमोटर्स जो शायद थोड़े हाई एज में हो गए हैं और नेक्स्ट लाइन ऑफ बिजनेस में जो उनके बच्चे हैं वो शायद इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है। सो क्या करना पड़ेगा, बिजनेस बंद करना पड़ेगा या किसी को बेचना पड़ेगा सस्ते में। तो वो एक एब्सोल्युटली ट्रू। सो जनरली सर हमारे एक्सपीरियंस में ऑल दीज 270 कंपनीज किसी ने 30-35% से ऊपर डाइल्यूट नहीं किया है, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द बिजनेस। सो ये बट एक एंगल रखा गया उन लोगों के लिए जहां पे अगर जिनके बच्चे नहीं है, इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है बिजनेस के अंदर, तो वो क्या करेंगे, डिस्ट्रेस सेल तो नहीं करना चाहिए, आपने गुडविल बनाई है इतनी बड़ी, राइट। सो उसको हेल्प करने के लिए ये एक पर्टिकुलर क्लॉज वहां पे भी रखा गया है, राइट। सो दिस इज वेयर वी आर वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम। रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस थोड़े से सॉफ्ट हैं, बट कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस नॉर्म्स एज इट इज जो मेन बोर्ड के वैसे रहेंगे। आपको हर क्वार्टर में अपनी बैलेंस शीट ऑडिटेड करके सबमिट नहीं करनी एक्सचेंज को, जैसे अभी आप 1 साल में 1 बार करते हो, आपको लिस्टिंग होने के बाद 1 साल में 2 बार करनी है, तो हाफ ईयरली करनी है आपको। बट मेन बोर्ड कंपनीज के लिए क्वार्टरली करनी होती है। तो जब आप माइग्रेट कर जाओगे मेन बोर्ड पे, वो जो 110 कंपनीज गई हैं वो ऑल सब मेन बोर्ड कंपनी से क्राइटेरियाज को मैच कर रही हैं अभी। सो दिस इज व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। बिफोर आई लीव, एक इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट फ्रॉम ए इन्वेस्टर साइड एज वेल, इस एसएमई आईपीओ में आप एक सिंगल शेयर बाय और सेल नहीं कर सकते। इफ यू सी द लास्ट लाइन दैट आई हैव रिटन आउट देयर इन द लास्ट कॉलम, इट सेज मिनिमम एप्लीकेशन साइज इज 1 लाख रुपी। तो कोई अगर इन्वेस्टर एसएमई की आईपीओ में इन्वेस्ट करेगा तो मिनिमम 1 लाख इन्वेस्ट करेगा या मल्टीपल ऑफ 1 लाख करेगा। ऐसा क्यों किया गया है, 2 रीजन थे। अगेन एसएमईज आर रिस्की गेम। SEBI didn't want any retail investor to just come and put in money and then lose their interest, क्योंकि कई लोग होते हैं कि अरे अच्छा बिजनेस मॉडल है, अच्छा कुछ है, हम ट्राई कर लेते हैं करने के लिए, बट प्रोमोटर के बारे में नहीं जानते हैं और पैसा लगाया और अगर कल को कंपनी नहीं चली सो दे विल बी एट अ लॉस, और ऐसे लोग फिर दोबारा कैपिटल मार्केट में इंटरेस्ट एंट्री नहीं लेते हैं। सो उनको सपोर्ट करने के लिए 1 लाख का लॉट रखा है। तो सेबी ने हमेशा बोला है इन्फॉर्म्ड इन्वेस्टर्स टू इन्वेस्ट इन SME IPO, रोका किसी को नहीं है। यू कैन इन्वेस्ट इन एनी SME IPO। आप ही के पुणे से जस्ट अभी लास्ट वीक एक IPO क्लोज हुआ है, लिस्ट हुआ है, मार्क्स एनर्जी करके, शिवाजी नगर बेस्ड कंपनी है, जेनसेट्स में है, 4 करोड़ रेज किया है, 25 करोड़ का टर्नओवर था एंड शायद 60-70 लाख का कुछ प्रॉफिट आफ्टर टैक्स दिखाया था उन्होंने, और कंपनी लिस्ट किया, 3 दिन IPO चला, क्लोज हुआ और 7वें दिन कंपनी लिस्ट हो गई, जस्ट लास्ट वीक की लिस्ट है। If you don't know, please keep an eye around what is happening on the capital market because पुणे से काफ़ी कंपनीज लिस्ट हो चुकी हैं। सबसे पहली कंपनी पुणे से जो लिस्ट हुई थी वो मिडकॉन कंसल्टेंसी थी। आई एम श्योर एवरीबडी नोज अबाउट मिडकॉन। वो पहली कंपनी जो पुणे से लिस्ट हुई थी, सेकंड फ्रॉम द NSE emerge platform. So there are a lot of companies who are coming ahead. It is just that promoters need to know what kind of balance sheets I have and if I am ready to let go of equity. At what cost is something merchant bankers and you will decide. Right? And that is where when I said about cost, one is fixed cost, other is variable cost. Variable cost क्या होता है कि अगर let's say आप बोलते हैं मैं 4 करोड़ का IPO लेके आता हूँ but I already have investors with me. I don't need the merchant banker to find investors for me. Right? So let's say आपने बोला मेरे को 2 करोड़ का इन्वेस्टर मेरे पास ऑलरेडी रेडी है, आई डोंट वांट मर्चेंट बैंकर्स हेल्प, तो आप 2 करोड़ का इन्वेस्टर खुद लेके आइए, जो बचे हुए 2 करोड़ हैं वो मर्चेंट बैंकर को बोलिए कि मेरे लिए ढूंढ के लेके आए, उसके लिए वो एक फंड रेजिंग फीस आपसे चार्ज करेंगे, दैट इज द वेरिएबल कॉस्ट। सो वो डिपेंड अपॉन द IPO साइज, उसके अंदर आपको कितना इन्वेस्ट करना है, एंड दैट इज ऑन सम कमर्शियल टर्म बेसिस जहाँ पे एक्सचेंजेस डोंट पार्टिसिपेट। बट जस्ट टू आंसर दैट क्वेश्चन, देयर आर दीज 2 काइंड्स ऑफ कॉस्ट, एंड साइज अगर 4 करोड़ का है या 1000 करोड़ का है या 100 करोड़ का है, these costs will only depend upon those variable factors. Fixed costs will remain the same for everybody. So this is what I wanted to today share with all of you, that there is a platform. Equity is and one of the most important and expensive assets you will ever own. मैं दोबारा ये repeat कर रहा हूँ because कई बार flow में बह के हम बोलते हैं अरे पैसा मिल रहा तो हम equity दे देते हैं, क्या ही फर्क पड़ रहा है, right? But once you grow in the business in the future, वही equity आपको और बहुत महंगी पड़ेगी, right? So it's a very decisive call. Take opportunity, meet merchant bankers, get your company evaluated, time देखिए। डोंट थिंक कि मैं एक बार एक X लेवल पे पहुंच के फिर IPO में जाऊंगा। अगर आपको लगता है कि आप वो टॉप लेवल अपनी कंपनी का लेस 2 साल में पहुंच जाओगे, तो एटलीस्ट आज लिस्ट करो और 2 साल का जो परफॉर्मेंस ग्रोथ दिखने वाला है वो मार्केट में दिखाइए। बिकॉज वंस यू रीच एट द हेल्म ऑफ योर ओन पोटेंशियल, उसके बाद अगर आप IPO लेके आते हो तो नेक्स्ट जर्नी इज नॉट नोन टू यू ऑल्सो, तो हाउ विल द इन्वेस्टर ट्रस्ट यू ओवर देयर, राइट?
होने के बाद क्या हुआ कि अकाउंट NPA हो गया, 15 लाख NPA हो गया। उस 15 लाख के ऊपर बैंक ने, आजकल सरफेसी का एक्ट है, उन्होंने कंपनी को लॉक कर दिया और ऑक्शन ले लिया। तो मैंने कंपनी को, बैंक को नहीं बेचने दिया, मैंने खुद कंपनी को बेच के साथ वाले उसमें आ गया हूँ। इस 42 ईयर्स में मैंने 325 आइटम ने डिफेंस की डेवलप किए हैं जो इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूट आइटम है। परंतु आज के दिन में स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया बोलता है कि आपने सेटल किया है, आपको एक पैसा नहीं मिलेगा। मैं अपनी बुक भी लिख रहा हूँ, ऑटोबायोग्राफी भी लिख रहा हूँ, और मुझे खाली इतना बोलने का है कि मैं क्या IPO में जा सकता हूँ, मैं बड़े बड़े ऑर्डर ले सकता हूँ, मेरी कैपेसिटी है, पर फाइनेंस ना करके अभी भी मैं करोड़ों के ऑर्डर ले सकता हूँ, क्योंकि इतने टाइप में डेवलप किया, तो मैं जा सकता हूँ क्या?
कंपनी जो ऑलरेडी NPA घोषित हो चुकी है या बैंक रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग हुई है, तो 5 years का कूलिंग ऑफ पीरियड इज व्हाट वी डिमांड फ्रॉम द कंपनी ऑन द प्रमोटर। 5 साल का कूलिंग पीरियड होने के बाद आप आ सकते हो, एक्सचेंज करो। We are always up for discussion. If that works out, why not? Because end of the day, what happens is we have to protect everybody's interest. Because end of the day, you will be one of the investors investing in those kind of companies, right? कोई ये नहीं बोल रहा है कि गलती हुई या क्या लॉस हुआ, क्यों हुआ. Nobody is getting into that. Cooling off period से क्या होता है? Promoter also gets to understand what is the value of that particular capital that he has earned, right? And bank ने कैसे support किया है. And then in the future, if the public understand, come out with an IPO. Absolutely, sir. I've been seeing it since morning, participating in all these things. But these are genuine concerns. हर एक का unique problem है. We'll discuss everything, post this. Unfortunately, I don't sit in Pune, but I travel to Pune very often. I sit in Mumbai. Sorry, can you just open my, I'll just share my number as well in the last slide, if you can open that. My number and my email ID is there already in the last slide. So you can make a note of that. Yeah. This one, yeah. So you can write an email to me, you can visit the website. These 270 companies का सबका balance sheet है वहाँ पे, मतलब prospectus है वहाँ पे. आपको लगता है आप उसी industry से हो जिसकी listing हुई है, read their offer documents, read their balance sheets, read their performance in the past. आपको सब पता लग जाएगा, उनके कौन से customer है, क्या supplier है, सब पता होता है वहाँ पे, right? So you'll understand कि मैं कितने पानी में हूँ, मुझे कितना grow करना है और इस तरह जाने के लिए. But do not compare yourself with others' story या others' decline. Everybody is unique, and then we take it from there. So with that thought, I want to really thank SME Chamber for having such a fantastic audience today as well. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the next speaker is Mrs. Supriya Badwe, Executive Director, Badwe Engineering Group and a Chairperson, Women Entrepreneurs Development Council. And the topic is Women Entrepreneurs, Emerging Business Opportunities and Challenges.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think, I know I'm coming between you and lunch, but I will make it short as much as possible. I will like to speak more on the statistics of women entrepreneurs in India. So just, I will start my presentation. So to start with, just what is economic effects of women empowerment. So productivity, increased participation of women workforce can significantly increase productivity of organizations since women demonstrate a focused and disciplined approach in their actions. So just to tell you everyone, this is not about feminism. This is about balancing. So means when I'm talking as a representative of women leaders who are working in various sectors in India. Second is skilled workforce. So improving opportunities and resources towards women for workforce can significantly contribute in expanding talent pool in the country. Just to share with you all that in Tata, we know story of Siddhamurti, and she was rejected as a first lady who has applied for Tata Motors. But recently, I just want to share you one thing. I have just received one WhatsApp video wherein now one assembly line at Tata Motors is being all operated by women employees, and wherein they have mentioned that how the company is supporting those female workers to work in night shift also. So all this support system is now been established in large corporates, and I think in our company also, when we just started, I just got into the business operation long back, 22 years back. I first focused on gender diversity, and then I will just share about women participation in our company. It's all about entrepreneurship. So women entrepreneurs shape the economy by contributing towards country's GDP growth by creating immense job opportunities through new age product and services. I have been recently called at one event organized at Bombay Stock Exchange, and Honorable Nirmala Sitaram ma'am was chief guest over there, and she spoke very well about women participation in country's growth. So India women in empowerment scenario. So Women Workplace Equity Index, India ranks 102 out of 180 nations globally on Women Workplace Equality Index. So entrepreneurship opportunities, just 50% of total population in India we represent by women, but represent only 20% as entrepreneurs. Gender pay gap, yes, this is a really a big problem in the country, that gender ratio is almost equivalent. Men earn 82% of the labor income, whereas women earn 18% of it respectively. And employment rate, according to the reports, more than 75% working age women population do not hold proper employment opportunities. Maybe that may be a lack of knowledge or lack of skill set, or maybe lack of education, I can say. And board positions, women in India contribute towards only 3.6% of board position across companies, which is significantly low as compared to the global rate of 19.6 respectively. So, so challenges for women empowerment. First is gender bias. Yes, gender perception and preferences are tilted more towards men rather than women, which is a major roadblock for contribution of women in the economy. Access to resources, as just mentioned by me. Then employment opportunities due to lack of access towards formal education, as I've just mentioned this point also. And work-life balance, yes, for women that is a bigger challenge always to manage life and work, because all household responsibilities are been more confined to women. That is not because of anything, but it is all only nature. We have such a system in India or across the globe also. But what I feel since last 2 decades, yes, women are emerging and they want to take good leadership roles in the organization. They want to evolve, they want to grow in various sectors. So I think now that the scenario is changing, and I think ladies and women are coming into the picture. They are getting some visibility. So gender pay parity, I just mentioned a few minutes back. So emerging opportunities of women in India, eco-friendly technology-enabled enterprises. So one of the things, maybe COVID, we have a lot many challenges, and it taught us how to work from home. But that have created one more opportunity to women for working from home, and that is, I think, the contribution has started for women empowerment. Secondly, manufacturing enterprises, fashion textile industries, herbal and healthcare enterprises, floriculture, tourism industry, event management services, information technology enabled enterprises. So way forward, what I want to say, that women entrepreneurship, emerging more women in entrepreneurship route can help attain gender diversity in the country and more employment opportunities in the country. I just want to share with you, I'm working as executive director for Badway Engineering Group, and but though it's a harder part of the industry, I have one passion since my childhood. It's all caring for nature. And that's why one opportunity came to me to work in a floriculture. So at the then industry minister of Maharashtra has introduced one scheme of floriculture in MIDC in Talegaon, and we had applied for that, and we got that opportunity to start the business. So I did one course, and now I have a good floriculture unit at as a Zara Flowers in Talegaon, and thank you. And this earlier I was exporting also, but due to pandemic it has stopped. But yes, this business has grown, and I think all employees or all co-workers who are there, they are all women. Skilled workforce, yes, constant training and development in new age technology will build strong foundation towards nurturing skilled workforce in the country. Just to tell you about Badway Engineering, since we are working in manufacturing industry, and what we observed that there is lack of or scarcity of skill in manufacturing industry, and along with Rotary, we have designed one CSR activity for skilling up all workforce for manufacturing industry, like robotic welders, manual welders, operators, press operators, and so that program has started. And just to tell you that in Aurangabad, one batch is going for like 8 or less educated girls, and now whole batch is running for girls. In our one factory at Aurangabad, the painting activity, we have painting on plastic. That activity is been done by women, by female workers, and even the decal application, the sticker application which you are seeing on two-wheeler components is also done by women. So women empowerment initiatives at Badway Engineering, I just want to tell you that we have initiated skill development training program. The gender diversity at BEL stands at around 10%, that I know, but yes, we have different challenges at women. They join, they stay for a shorter duration, and they just leave because of their other priorities. But we have target of 15% of gender diversity. So we are providing scholarships to AIT Dighi Pune for girl students who are academically excellent and financially challenged. HR policy revamp brainstorming has initiated at Badway Engineering, wherein we are mapping best-in-class industry HR practices to reduce attrition in women workforce and attract young women workforce in the organization. The women empowerment is not restricted only to our female employees, but also extended to spouse of our male colleagues. So as a women, I am, you might be aware, but I am the chairperson of Women Entrepreneurship Development Council of SME Chamber of India. So thanks Chandrakant Salunke sir for giving me this opportunity, and in next 2 years we will make this platform very strong, and we will invite all entrepreneurs or leading professionals, women leading professionals, and we will make this event a large. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm associated with RLSS, Rashtriya Life Saving Samstha, having aggressively trained 15,000 students and youth for safety and health training across India. Health checkup for drives for women employees, which includes bone density, HB checkup, that is going in our organization. And I was panelist for Women Leadership Program at Atlantic City, US. So celebrating diversity at Badway Engineering Limited, the women empowerment is not restricted only to our female employees. So this is what, how the women employees are working on various assembly lines, plastic and press. Even they are working very good as a press operators. This is what awards we have received and for our social contributions. Recently, we have conducted one Pune forum we called Smriti Irani ji, and we have just had a good program over there. So cycle donation is going on. So closing thoughts, glass ceilings are shattering and doors are opening. Indian women are slowly yet surely carving a space for themselves through knowledge, excellence, passion, and empathy. New India is being shaped by the ambitious millions of women across the country. They are nurturing and scaling existing business, starting new ventures, and moving up the corporate ladder. And this is also the vision of our beloved Prime Minister, who is driving Nari Shakti across India. So it is, again, I am telling you, it's not about feminism. It's all support from male also across the society, and it's all about balancing. Thank you for patience listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I know you all are very much hungry, but please excuse, because we have one more speaker. Oh shit. Extremely sorry. But he is Dr. Prashant Pansare, Managing Director. I would like to please call him. Intelligent Group, Rubiscap Labs, and the topic is Artificial Intelligence AI for SMEs.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Salunke ji, for inviting me. and I am probably the last person standing between you and lunch, hopefully, in this session. I'll probably try and make my record of finishing the fastest presentation ever. I actually wanted to show you something, but probably we'll do that for some other time. And the reason why this topic was given was also because we think that this machine learning and artificial intelligence or digital technologies are only for large enterprise. It is not. In fact, the mantra for SMEs is that innovate or die. And when we are talking about innovation, we are not only thinking about how can we run our business better, but are we in a right business? Is something that I would certainly like to share with you. So I have some busy slides, but I'll keep it very short and crisp. This slide actually talks about data and India. So we are world's cheapest mobile internet country, and India has recently surpassed the non-English speaking population of mobile internet users in India. What it means is that if your primary language in operating system or social media, if it is Marathi, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, those number of users have surpassed. And this in itself is a world record. In fact, we recently see that fintech industry in India has been setting up new world records every quarter with UPI payments, right? And if you look at food tech industry, entertainment industry, there are so many industries who have actually shown how the digital ways are actually helping us not only survive, but during the lockdowns, it has actually created new kind of business models. Now, if you see, even for the SMEs, the robotics, automation, these things are becoming very crucial in terms of how they can not only survive, but how they can also look at more growth opportunities. One point that I want to really make here is that the digitalization is not going to take away jobs. It is going to create new jobs, if you look at it in that sense. And if you have to think that what are those opportunities with digitalization and automation that can come in, is just look at this remote calibration as a service, quality as a service, prediction as a service, right? There are so many different aspects that are emerging out of this whole arena of artificial intelligence. And let me give you some real quick cookbook, I would say, is that just look at what can be your business focus, technology focus, and what can be your solution focus. Now, if you look at some of these three things, let me not go in the interest of time, the business focus and technology focus. I think enough has been said. But if you look at the visual discovery for that matter, that how are you being able to size your market opportunity, right? We talked about certain areas on the lighter note. Probably today CAs were targeted for probably the preparation of a balance sheet. But how are the SMEs are really well equipped to size their market potential? Or are you only restricted to few relationships or geographical distribution, supply chains, or you're being able to go beyond the borders? Just today, there's a very interesting infographic that was released by one of the research company, and that talked about the UPI matrix in India. And PhonePe, an Indian app, is actually at 51%, and the second one is the Google Pay at 34% of the total market share. And I myself was a little surprised to know that. Now, there is a potential for Indian technological products, and somebody did mention in earlier sessions that being Indian is no longer a curse even in international markets. People are looking at it very positively and respectfully. So here is our time to how we can build innovations and solutions to the global markets. In fact, with one of our technological partner, we are talking about optical QC. The optical QC is that if I'm selling in I'm in a business of furniture, looking at the image, can I do the image processing and come out with the accurate measurement and the quality of the product if it is dispatched, right? And there are so many e-commerce companies that they say that if you are sending a product rejection, take a photo and upload. Now, what does that mean is that you're doing optical QC, quality control as a service. Think about radiology as a service. We have been restricting our mobile devices only for the entertainment apps and food apps and entertainment apps. But think about populated country like us need local and low cost innovations. Maybe radiology as a service, X-ray imaging as a service, cultivation as a service with autonomous tractors. There are companies who are actually making their autonomous tractors in Pune. How can we Uberize that kind of a model and then offer that using drone soil testing as a service? So if you're thinking about these kind of innovative ideas, I mean, just look at what is happening in electric vehicle market, right? Rather than the power generation of the vehicles is fundamentally changing from a engine to a battery. Then how battery operated vehicles, what are the kind of things that you can build up? We also talked about the second generation challenges. I mean, if you have the asset and investment, if you have the customers and supply chain, how can you leverage that for creating something which will be digital, because then it is going to be boundaryless as well. So if we look at these kind of things, now this is just probably one slide, because we ourselves are an SME and from Pune. So we take pride in sharing with you that we have developed India's first unified data science and artificial intelligence technology product. And we have been, thank you. So we also have been received a lot of awards from national, international level. And what it actually gives you is the data engineering, machine learning modeling, and the visual discovery tool sets in one single software. In fact, we have been talking about competitiveness of SMEs. I have a couple of slides, how you can build up some of your model-powered business processes, or how can you do the AI-led innovation, right? And we are helping one side the large enterprises, but I think this is mainly for the mid-sized small companies to increase their market reach and competitive advantage as well. And here are some examples that how you do video analytics, right? Surveillance as a service. We talk about the identity analytics and so on. Forecasting, whether it is weather or market forecasts, right? How can you also do that as a research service? Or when we talk about shop floor to top floor, how using IoT or a machine data, you can do the predictive maintenance or preventive maintenance and those kind of solutions, or maybe image processing as a service for healthcare or any other related industries. What I would also like to maybe urge you is that the SME Chambers is doing a lot of work. We certainly would like to help in setting up a future skilling center, that how those maybe entrepreneurs and SMEs can actually have access to these kind of techniques and tools that will help them in increasing their competitiveness. So we have forums like maybe CII and FICCI who actually do these kind of skilling and training programs. We certainly would like to make that contribution. We ourselves as being an SME chamber member, right? And how we can help in leveraging the technological infrastructure. If SMEs wants to do some R&D or piloting, we do have set up a lot of center of excellence at leading institutions, B schools and engineering colleges, and that facility infrastructure can be also made available to the SMEs, maybe either affordable prices, or it can also be probably under some the funding or a grant help from government as well. And then some of these futuring skilling programs for SMEs, because they have the scarcity of the human resources. They are highly dependent on one or two individuals, and hence it is very important that the SMEs actually start adopting digital technologies. They also de-risk. More importantly, don't look at it only from the risk or a negative sentiment point of view, but when you are going digital, you are actually becoming boundaryless. On a closing thought, maybe, one thing that I can share is that when we were locked down in our houses in 18 months, 5 internet companies of America added $453 billion to their personal wealth. And they actually featured the CEOs of Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. Now, why did that happen? Because when we were locked down in our homes, it still did not kill our spirit of humanity. Sitting at home, we were ordering food. Sitting at home, we were actually, started celebration, be it your classes or, your Rotary meetings, or, you're sending flowers and cakes from, the mobile apps and all of that. So business has been going on. But what happens is that the Silicon Valley phrase that says that have your meal before it is hatched. So there are foreign companies that are actually coming to your doorstep and, hatching those eggs. So how can SME think with an innovative and competitiveness? And hence, I would urge that technology is not expensive now. We are world's cheapest, mobile internet economy. And even then, 2 GB mobile data is not sufficient on one SIM card. That's our hunger and appetite. So there are a lot of avenues. In the interest of time, let me conclude my session here. I would be more than happy to have any questions and discussions offline during the lunch break. Thank you for inviting me again.
Thank you very much for fastest and best presentation and useful presentation.